Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We are here. Episode 27 of The Fallen. Ah. And we are about to begin. Let's get this rolling. All right, I am ready. Is everybody ready?
Ready.
Roger,
Sure.
Roger.
All right, so I think we know who wants to do the recap this week.
I'll freshen my brain. Let's do this.
It was Max,
Okay.
right? Max wanted to do recap this, right? Right, that's... Oh, it was
yep.
Cha. Okay,
Rock,
yeah,
paper,
gotcha.
scissors.
I don't think they appreciate how I recap things from my perspective.
Yeah, these
I
people...
love your recaps.
These people that were like, they don't trust me. I'm a kind, loving baker. How could they
Exactly.
possibly not trust somebody who bakes bread for a living? I mean,
I am baked on a professional level, all right?
I like how you recap in character. That's the funniest.
all
I've
right,
got this.
go for it, Chuck.
Okay, so Dale defeated by an incredible sneak attack by Niavara. Down on the ground, we begin the session, and everything's pretty calm and cool and collected. Dale is not killed, he's stabilized, and then is tied up in a horrifying way, stripped of all his clothing and gear. And there's this large fountain near him where the attack happened, which has changed and become like a different color, and is like emitting a different kind of energy. And everyone starts to focus on that for a bit and discovers that there are draconic runes that are etched into it that were covered over by infernal, and that those are starting to fade away now that Dale has been defeated. I don't know if we talked about whether the bodies of all the creatures he brought up were also dissolving or if they were still there. I did want to do a little go back in time thing about that if they're still there and check those bodies. But I digress. So there were let's see. So you figured out some things there. Sounds like this was connected to another shrine which we had found earlier that had draconic writing, which was covered over or scratched out. It seems that they've been attacked and defiled by the devils that were within Dale and assisting him and his minions. So this fountain became purified. You guys checked in it. You found a couple of coins. One of them had some scratches on it, I believe. It seems that this was some kind of a wishing well that Dale used to get power and wealth. And that was what he was told by something that he would get if he did this, which he did. He made a deal, sold his soul to a devil, and then I don't exactly remember the order, but it's like he was doused in holy water, and the connection to this devil was sort of severed. Like you doused him, I think you put him in the fountain.
Waterboarding, I think, was the term we used.
Waterboarding, that was it. I even wrote that down. Waterboarding Dale in holy water. I thought that was just a terribly ironic statement. Yes, and so then it seems like that kind of brought him back to himself, and then everybody's been smacking him around because of his stupid choices and his insistence on like, wouldn't you do the same as me if you had the same opportunity to gain wealth and power. And everybody's like, no, look at your actions. Neovaro's been just guilt tripping the crap out of him about everything, showing him the bodies of people who died because of his actions, calling out every horrible thing that's happened, and yet doesn't seem to have any clue of, making him feel really terrible, dragging him out into the snow, still practically naked. Oh wait, no, you did put some some fine dwarvish clothing on him. I remember that. Very noble of you, Kozik. There were some classic Kozik deep shaft quotes. Here is the first one I wrote down. I'll make it up to you guys. I swear. After we found him staring into the eyes of his weird teddy bear, and that was the reason he didn't join us in this big fight with Dale. A delightful, a horrifying thing. Little interaction you had of wondering why he didn't join us. Let's see. Max's crew was successfully rescued, and slowly started coming out that Max was not his real name. And at some point, the cat was out of the bag, so to speak, and he revealed himself to be named Fletcher, and I forgot the rest of the whole name. Fletcher, pilot of an astral ship, captain of an astral ship and crew. Oh yeah, the infernal writing that was written on the fountain once discovered was called the Puppet Master. Cha, when he came in later, he had some things to say about that. Kozik, you gave Dale a real bashing, a real psychological bashing when you said, "Your denials are beneath you, you contemptible pig."
We were bad cop and bad cop when we were assaulting him there.
It was classic. Oh yeah, and I did just one quote after another of yours. Your cowardice and your venality led to all of this. You brought this on yourself. It was a deep shaft. Let's see. We learned that the it was so, and I can't say it anything like you. You just do it, so it's just brilliant. But Dale, we discovered, made a deal with a creature called Rasp, and there were yes. Another Kozik Deep Shaft quote. Don't you see now, Dale? Don't you see the wages of sin? Kozik Deep Shaft. And this one was a disturbing one from Kozik. I'm ready for a child's slumber party. I don't exactly remember the context. I just wrote it down.
I don't remember that.
It's definitely there if you go back.
I remember him saying that, but I don't know what it was about either. Fuck.
It might have been around the teddy bear and banana thing. But any way you looked at it from any angle, it was really cringy and disturbing and brilliant. Let's see. So we got out of the tunnels. Those weird shadowy hands were still down there, which is still kind of disturbing Cha's mind, at least, if nobody else. We got out into the area, and there were, let's see. So Max, Zed, and Kozik kind of headed over to the ship. Max went into the ship, this downed ship that he had been in before, and went down in there, and there was something moving around in there. And he threatened it. And well, at first he sort of tried to just coax it out, but then it didn't. And then he threatened that he would burn the entire place down, which he started to then do. And then Zed came in, and the creature ran to him, and that was when everyone discovered it was a small amethyst dragon that could speak common, apparently, and was telling us that it had been born in the ship and that it was its home, and it was now on fire. And it sweetly and sadly asked Zed to stop his friend from burning down his home, which Zed did not do. And this place started burning, and there was like unexploded munitions within the ship that were about to catch fire. Kozik was there trying to help get people out with a rope, but I don't think he was aware of the interactions down there. This poor little dragon was just being tormented by Max, mentally manipulated, guilt tripped, basically saying that the whole thing was happening because of
What?
its inaction. Hold on. And so then eventually everybody sort of got out of the ship and watched it burn, and Zed like kind of basically kidnapped it and like, oh man, there were some moments there that were just so disturbing where like Max was sent a mental message into the dragon's head to tell everyone that he was its best friend, and to fly over onto its shoulder and tell everybody it was its best friend, which it did, except that it also revealed that Max had sort of mentally told him to say that. So we're all just watching this interaction with our mouths dropped open as the ship burns, as this poor creature whose home was just destroyed by Max mercilessly. He could have put the fires out at any time and did not, and nobody else did either. It was just like watching the hellfires burning right out of these people's hearts and destroying this little creature's life, and now it's like sitting on Max's shoulder. So that was what I watched it from Cha's perspective. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, he also was bribing it to do this, and he would give Max would give back parts of its body that he had stolen as like a wage for doing whatever he said. So this little creature is like under Max's power through coercion and manipulation. And it's just like, wow. So let's see. Some of that happened, and Cha was just like having horrible flashbacks of growing up in the hells, watching this whole scenario, this fire burning, this person that's joined us manipulating this creature, and like, and I remember at one point Max said, well, out of character, you said that there was a smile, like that Max was really enjoying the fire. And Zed was really going along with this too. He was like, yeah, you gotta follow through with your actions and stuff. Like you can't show weakness and things. And that was why they basically let this creature's home burn to the ground. And it's like a, mind you, it's a like a child. It's like an infant little amethyst dragon. It can barely count or speak, and it's just like in tears. And we did have some good sad dragon gifs that were posted. Let's see what else. So yeah, so Niavara came up to Cha while everybody moved through this portal. Cha asked the big giant dragon that had been impaled how to get out of this place, and it showed us how to get through the portal. And everybody went through this portal, and Niavara had a little discussion with Cha about, you know, if this gets too bad with Max, she's going to help him bury the body. And that was like a really nice moment of murderous, camaraderie between the two of them. And she also dropped her form, her dark elvish form, and showed her true form to Cha, which he's going to keep secret. Said he would keep secret. And then and they had a little interaction. Cha like was so heartbroken from watching this thing that he came back and was like, well, maybe we can make things better. And she's like, that's the Cha I remember. And okay, so that was that piece. And oh yeah, and then so we got back through the portal. We're back in this room with these different like little weird arcane portal devices that we discovered by sticking our heads in and licking them and stuff like that a long time ago. And at that moment, the charm person on Cha that Max cast quite a while ago dropped. And that was where we ended the session. Oh, yeah. And Max is totally starting to crush on Zed. after like having some interactions, discovering that he's a pirate, that and she's a pirate, and there's so Max is like having a hard time trying to hold together that they're like not hot for Zed. Um, Going around asking people about him. Still delightfully, Max doesn't know anybody's name, and yet expects that all of us learn their full new name that they just dropped on all of us, and like call him captain and all this stuff. It's like we're all starting to realize that Max is a total bullshit artist, incapable of really telling the truth or even knowing what it is. And it's like we're all coming to realizations of some things about Max. Meanwhile, Dale is like we're dragging him along. The crew of Max's crew is coming along with us. They're malnourished. Some of them are unconscious after being freed, and they're coming along. They all have their own personalities. And that's one of the longest recaps ever, but I think that's about everything.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And retroactively, I was curious if Cha, because I wasn't there at the time, if he could have looted the body of the fallen Carthrin bearded devil, because he would have wanted to rifle through its stuff because of that family rivalry that Cha's family has had with the Carthrin lineage. He would have wanted to like loot some of those infernal bodies and just see if they had messages, if they had gear, they had signets or anything to let him know what their plans are, because they've been coming across these Carthrin devils several times now. So that I was hoping we could retroactively do some kind of a search for that. That's about it. Thank you. Try to keep it this time. Tried to make it fast.
When you were off camera, you could have done that. So give me an investigation.
Got it. Could I possibly get help from Raul since we were doing that together?
I want to say yes, but he also has been suffering from exhaustion, so he probably wouldn't be of much help though.
Good call. Good
So
call.
exhausted. He's just so tired.
Gosh. Okay, here we go. Investigation.
You know, you spent more time guilt tripping me about this dragon than I spent time even talking to it. I'd say.
Oh, for sure. It like went into my dreams all week and everything.
Did it really?
Congratulations.
Oh no.
Okay. Okay. Never mind.
So you search the bodies, but alas, there was nothing that stood out. Like the other creatures that were summoned didn't really have any sigils or signet ring. They just kind of seem like willing and or maybe unwilling subjects that had no real pull in the you know, in the social architectures.
Totally.
Cannon fodder. Because you'd probably ascertain that if there were any important information like that, it would probably be something on Dale, which they thoroughly investigated. And
Right.
the other entity that you probably would have pulled that off of would have been the butler, which, you know, we've already kind of gone through that.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
But with that, we kind of fast forward to where you guys are back in good old Dale's house. these runes are just kind of fluctuating and glowing around you. Kind of looks like they, maybe a moment ago they were, there was a lot more energy, but they're slowly dying down like a, like a pot of water that it's done boiling, so it's kind of cooling, and they're kind of becoming more hypnotic, I guess. Harmonious. But you guys are back in here. A familiar
I think
temperature and a familiar
Shaw's
smell.
Shaw's gonna swoon a little bit, and his eyes are gonna kind of cross, and he's gonna rub his temples and be like, "Oh," and then he's gonna look up at Max and like with a penetrating look, "You cast charm magic on me."
Yeah, and I do it again too.
You always say that. I don't care. Why did you do it?
It was the only way to get you to snap out of it.
Shaw thinks on that, and he's like, "That's right."
That dragon took out two of you, right? And like it was like pulsing from that lake. And I thought maybe if I put you under my spell, it'd get you out of its.
And I think it did. Well,
And she kind of starts. She says, "Look, I'm sorry if." And then like her crew's coming out of the thing, and she's like, "And I did what had to be done, you know." And then she's gonna, and then try to like spit on the ground.
Shaw watches that change and looks at the crew as they're coming through and looks back at Max. I think I get it now, Max.
I've got hands on like my hips and doing like a heroic pose right now, chin lifted into the air.
Niavara's making a visibly disgusted face at the loogie he just hawked. Like, foul. Just utterly foul.
Yep, that's how we men are. You just get used to it, sister.
1, I'm not your sister. 2, no, they're not. Weirdos, boys, and teenagers are disgusting. Men don't have to be.
Do you have a mental illness, Max?
Hmm?
Do you
I'm
have
gonna
a
shoot like
mental
little finger guns.
illness, Max?
What do you mean?
Look at you. You can't even remember any of our names. What's wrong with you?
That's not true at all.
Really?
My name.
I think what's important now is we have a bunch of sick baker's boys back here that we need to
Don't
get.
deflect. I want to know what mental illness you have so I know what I'm dealing with.
Look at all these flashing lights and portals in this room. I feel like this is an unstable environment, and we need to escape before the roof collapses down on us.
He
That's
leans.
sensible.
Niavara leans over to Chaw, like the only illness that he has is the illness of being a massive fucking cunt.
Right.
Zed. So Zed's just
You're
kind of
an
sitting
unstable
on a
environment,
rock,
Max.
and he's just watching. He's just kind of glancing back and forth at everyone. Just kind of doesn't really have an expression on. He's just more just watching what's going on. And on the ground next to him, he's been dragging Dale along. Dale's just still chained up, tied up, laying on the well, not laying, but kind of slumped on the ground. Zed's not looking at him at all, but he's got his hand like just palm down, sitting, resting right on top of Dale's head. And he's just kind of tapping on Dale's forehead with his middle finger. Not excessively, but just kind of like, almost like twiddling your thumbs, sort of just unconscious movement. And he's just kind of thumping top of Dale's head as he looks around at all of you guys having this discussion.
Zed, wasn't there a door in here you wanted to check out or something before?
Well, it was the hunch that I had basically where Dale went. I'm not sure. I mean, we got that fella now, so
Hmm.
there were a couple locked doors that seemed like they had multiple different mechanisms. They were a bit difficult to pick. Not sure if there's anything valuable back there or if that was meant to just be like a little hiding place.
Hmm.
Feel free to look around though if you like.
Spots that dragon. Is it still on your shoulder? Was that where we left it?
Yep. It was on Zed. 'Cause Zed was the one who.
It's on Zed, huh?
Yeah, I think at the very end, like he had jumped over to Max and Zed had kind of made it. I guess Zed more or less just like motioned it back over to him because he feels responsible for it now.
What state is it in right now? What can we
Alive?
glean from its what can we glean from its expression, its body gestures, you know?
Does it
And
look
I
like
mean,
a
you can give
tiny
me
brute?
a what is it? Blah 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 blah.
An insight, probably.
Insight.
You got it.
Ooh, nice.
Got it. 21.
It's so you look over to it and it's sort of it's in a sort of state of shock, like everything just happened not even like 10 minutes ago. So you can clearly gain by its body movement, like maybe some tensed musculature. Like maybe as it's on Zed's shoulders, it's constantly like moving its talons or tapping them, just kind of like really nervous or really anxious motions.
Josh
I mean,
sees it.
the
He
TLDR
starts
of it
by
is sad, it's afraid, and the only remote sense of safety right now seems to be hanging out with Zed, because, and even then, there's
someone
still
complicit
some
in the
anxiety to that.
destruction of its home.
Yeah,
Someone who
basically,
helped
I mean,
burn
with
his
the
home
21, it was trying to get Zed to stop people from burning its
down.
house down. He didn't. Instead, he just kind of broke a wall and ran out. So there's, a little bit of a kind of feels like a little bit of a prisoner.
Todd looks at it in the eyes and is like, holds his hands out. It's like, come here, little buddy. You want to come over here?
Give me a persuasion.
Got it. Okay. 9.
So you hold your hand out and it just kind of starts to recoil in on itself.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I'm a friend. Believe it or not. He looks at Max and Zed.
Friends no burn down homes.
You're totally right. I'm really sorry that happened. It was wrong.
Have no home now.
Ah, we're going to make it right for you, little buddy. We'll find you a home.
Niavara will
Do you
try
have
her
a
own.
name?
So you ascertained it didn't have a name. What was that, Nivar?
Oh, right.
Will attempt her own persuasion of like trying to build off of Chaw. Like, no, it's okay. Don't worry. I know he looks a little scary, but it's okay. We don't have homes either. Oh,
It
fuck
looks
me.
scary. It tracks.
It does. The assassin and the spy having zero luck trying to convince this little fucking dragon that we're the nice ones of the party.
We haven't like attacked the people.
I would
who
like
did
to
it.
get in on this too, if I could. If they're trying to like turn this little dragon situation into like, oh, this poor little baby, and I'm just gonna be like, you know what? You've got a new home with new friends now. It's way better than living in some broken ship out in the snowy mountains, don't you think? And I'm gonna give this little dragon a little wink.
Watch.
Can I
He's-
roll?
Max is gonna end up with the highest roll of all of us, nat 20.
Dude, I mean,
Well,
but can't
I'm
it can't
debating
be
if it should
persuaded
be with
by him,
disadvantage or
right?
not, because everybody's just kind
That's
of
up
like,
to you.
imagine being the shy kid in the room and everybody's trying to like talk to you at once and tell you it's all good, and they're kind of
yeah.
like surrounding you and crowding you where you're already like
Plus-
really
plus the bully.
uncomfortable.
I'll do it with disadvantage. That makes a lot of sense. Can we roll with this?
Yeah.
Plus the bully.
Yeah, here you go. That's an 11.
So it's not like opening up, but it's, I mean, you guys have, this is not a very familiar territory for it, and it's definitely, even for those who haven't really rolled an insight, it's just kind of getting more and more afraid of itself, afraid of its situation, and just trying its best to
All right,
like
everybody.
hide.
just back off. It's freaked out enough.
Hey, let's just leave it alone for now.
I'm way over here. I was just talking.
Snoring in the background.
I
No,
woke
what
you.
is that? What? Somebody snoring? What was that?
Thought I.
Sounded like a good solid snore.
I don't know.
Well, don't worry, little buddy. I would like to know maybe where your parents are, if you possibly know, but we'll try to make it better.
Oh, I have just fully assumed that the parent was the thing in the ice. It's the only dragon
Oh.
there. It said it's a hatchling, meaning it hatched in the ship.
Wow, that dragon was a mother. Maybe.
Or a father. Who knows?
It didn't seem to say anything when we burned down its child's home and kidnapped it, though.
Yeah,
I-
I'm gonna keep pushing back a little bit. I was the alternative to leave it in a burning ship where it refused to go anywhere.
The
I keep hearing
alternative.
words thrown around like kidnapping and things like that, and
Did you have an option to put the fires out?
no. The
Not
ship was
really. We
literally on
put like
fire.
5 of them out
Ammunition
before
was
the thing
Insight
came
check.
out.
Insight check.
Does Zed
13.
think that he had like the whole reason that Zed blew a hole in the side of the ship and scooped the dragon up in the first place was because that was his way out.
I mean, Zed wouldn't have thought he would have been able to put those fires out.
Okay, got it.
To be fair, we'd already lit like 4 or 5 fires before this thing. I thought it was a ghost that was trying to kill us, and I was like this, like this, like this, like this. And then when the ship was already aflame, that's when it's like, oh, I'm gonna run to Daddy Zed and tattle.
No, Tax, it wasn't your fault.
Yeah, so
Wow.
OOC Zed was trying to save it, and now in character he feels completely responsible. So like all of the emotional support that I think Cha's trying to provide, Zed is fully on board and is almost looking at this creature like it's his to take care of now.
Got it, got it.
But he does also understand that it's nervous and scared, and you know, it
Reasonably
would make
so.
sense if this creature was more comfortable with someone else given what had just happened.
Who's
joke.
up for a rest?
Ooh,
In-
I
Should
could
we
use
make it
one,
back to
honestly.
town?
I would argue against the town, but I would say holding up upstairs is probably our best bet. Now, if we'd like to throw Dale in the jail, you know,
There is that room that you guys found Max in.
exactly.
Ah.
And she sort of prods him with her foot.
Dale.
Meh.
Well, I'm okay with that.
Hold on.
We're all good with that? Okay, I'm down. I am
Wait.
100% down. Are you kidding me?
Wait, hold on. Just food for thought here. So we killed him. Very, very nicely, I might add, Niavara.
Thanks.
Then we brought him back, and then brought him with us to just leave him here, alive.
Rot.
We can't do that.
Temporary holding while we're
Well,
sleeping.
if he, well, if he just gets, you know, repossessed by the same thing that had possessed him before, and then takes over the town again.
When,
Not to
when he
interrupt.
goes to sleep,
What are we doing? What did I miss over the past like 10 minutes?
All right, Cha, give him the 30-minute No, just kidding.
I heard the recap. I was making food. I slow cooked venison for like 9 hours today, and I made venison tacos. So I was making sure I got some.
Ooh,
Yummy.
nice.
yeah, we're coming over.
Mhm.
More than welcome. I got like 8 pounds.
Oh shit.
Damn. TLDR is that we were all sort of taking turns being mad at specifically Max, the Dragon,
Who's
but
this
we've
Max
come
person they keep talking about? It's
Yeah, who is that?
King Fletcher or whatever.
Oh, you gave him the
I
name
think his
King.
name's Mold.
2, 3, 4, 5. I'm missing somebody.
Moldemort.
Moldy Voldy.
I believe
Something
it's
like
the
that.
fearless Fletcher Fulton, captain of the
I'm missing a
Maiden
token.
Scorn, scourge of the astral sea. Please and thank you.
Too long. Didn't read. What
Um,
episode is this? 26.
So from
27.
there,
27.
what ended up happening is that we've been heading back in. We're currently deciding what to do with Dale. We all tried to take turns reassuring the dragon, and it did not work. We instead made it more scared of us.
Yeah, that just
Okay.
dropped
I,
things.
in character, haven't met the dragon yet. I don't think.
Nope, you haven't even paid attention to most anything because you're just so damn exhausted
I'm just so tired.
and weighed down by all this meat that you got.
We've got to get this guy sleeping.
Horizontal.
But we are currently deciding what to do with Dale.
Correct.
Because I think from in the middle of the fight, before I had to skip a game, Raul had propositioned we take him back to the town and feed him to the mimics.
Nuvara is 100% in favor of doing whatever the fuck to Dale.
So that's my vote.
Yeah, I think we had a reason to. I think we wanted to bring him back. I think initially to interrogate him. I guess we kind of found out that he thinks he wasn't responsible for anything and claims to not remember anything. Yet made a deal, and then we just kept him alive and dragged him with us. And I don't know, outside of like something like that, bringing him back to town to sacrifice him to the town or something. He's not just like a new member of the party. So we got to do something.
Raul doesn't know why, doesn't know who or anything, but he has a very strong internal urge that he needs this person to be unalived.
Fair.
Out of
I think
character.
we were going to
It's
let
a little
the
split in the
mimics.
voice that I did.
I think we were going to let the mimics figure out what they want to do with him, since he's been controlling them and all that.
Yeah. I think that's totally a fair assessment of what to do with them.
If they show mercy, though, what do you think?
Then he meets, well, My knife in a back alleyway, baby. But like,
Like kind of
I
like the
think
butler may just go off on a walk in the woods or something.
What's a mimic
Yeah.
again?
It is
We're
a
not
type.
sure if you're one.
It's it's a type of creature that imitates other objects. One might say it's a sentient being that appears as one shape, but actuality is not, and it's like a doppelganger, shape changer.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good description of Marvin here.
Marvin?
Shush tries
Oh,
not to give a tries not to give a wink to Niavara when she says that.
I'm gonna point at Max when I say Marvin.
You know
Well,
what? I don't need to feel ostracized. Me and my 13 best friends are gonna be in this corner over here. All right. Just imagine they're
Okay, bye.
die.
Well, we got ostrich now.
Yeah, I thought you wanted to go to the surface. Why don't you just go ahead?
Wait, we can't let them go to the surface. That's where all the treasure is. And she lowers her voice as she says that.
I would like to try to hear that. Can I roll a perception?
what?
please?
Sure.
Niavara already told you that.
Yeah.
Did she?
Yes.
Yeah.
I said, you want to try and see what's in that back room we never could get into? Maybe there's something coin or something armory or something back there.
You guys, we need to sleep before we do anything else.
We can just look for a little bit of coin.
I've been awake this long. I guess I sleep when I die.
I'm actually
You might die if you open the doors.
I'm actually with Chaw on this one. Raul, I know that when you go to sleep you don't close your eyes, but this is the first time I actually believe your eyes are closed.
No. I
Might
just
just
don't
be-
have eyes. What are you talking about?
Basically trying to say that you look tired as fuck and you need to lay down.
Or to deliriously be like, no, it's in your head.
Okay.
Listen, you guys pick a room. I think we need to sleep. At least a short rest.
I'll take a watch upstairs.
I vote
I
not
rec-
the room that caused physical pain to everyone.
Yes. Not the
right,
room
that
that
was
causes
here.
physical pain to
Okay.
everyone.
Good point. Okay, back into Dale's room. Is that the idea?
Correct. Uh-huh, but we're going to
Okay,
lock
let's
Dale up
do it.
down here. Everyone lock Dale up to something, please.
Lock him down here?
He spoke
Yeah.
from down here though.
Okay, so what I'm saying is he's already in manacles, like a couple pairs of them, and he's tied with rope. We
just
found
keep him
Max
with
locked
us.
up in something. I don't want him to be upstairs because then people might hear from the outside screaming.
Oh, the door's barred. Remember, I put the thing in it. They can't get in.
You know, he did say
know.
something about his contract possibly being in his house. So if he did get to interact with it, it could be pretty bad. So I hear what you're saying.
Well, let's try and find the contract, and then we'll be able to find out how much of this did he mean. Because
Right.
if it says in his contract, I am offering my immortal soul in terms for power, fuck everyone else.
Didn't he say that already, basically?
Two versions.
I mean, not in so many words, but yes. And she glares down at
He's
him.
trying to justify why it's okay to search for wealth and power when you're down and out. Silly Dale.
Didn't he have some sort of parchment on him that we found?
What did he?
I got an idea for keeping Dale here.
Yeah, Max threw you a scroll that he had, but it was like a magical scroll. I don't know if it was a.
I think it was a spell, not the contract.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
You know how I got
what was
80
that thing
pounds
he
of
gave
meat
you?
on me?
What was that thing he would had on him? It was some kind of magic thing. What was it? It could be very dangerous, though.
Something.
if
I am
that
the
is-
danger.
You're totally the danger.
Since I have 80 pounds of meat on me and I'm so tired that I'm just dead weight at this point, I'm just gonna sit on Dale. Be like, all right, he's not going anywhere.
That's really funny. You know what? Power to you. I think that is clever.
Okay, so we get close to upstairs. We lock him down here. We rest. Or loot and then rest.
Rest and then loot's fine. Like, I think that we'll be able to benefit from having Raoul, who, no offense, Raoul, feels a little bit less than upstanding and therefore probably good at theft.
Meanwhile, Max is hanging out with his crowd of 13 people.
Yeah, I would like to rest in a separate room, please. And I want to play poker. I want to roll dice. I'm going to use a song of rest, but only for the good people in here. And then I'm even going to put on a tattoo. You know what? We're just going to have a bunch of like just good. I want to laugh extra hard at everybody's jokes, even if they're not funny. Just, wow, it sure is great having friends like you around. Just like as loud as I can be.
Did you walk back into this room here?
Yeah.
I'm gonna yell to you when you go in there and be like, "All right, Melvin, can you bring me that map that we left in there? I remember handing it to you."
Forgot I had that.
Gosh, you guys, I feel so left out. Jeez, you know?
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna like address everybody. I'm gonna be all right on Amaranth, on Blitz, Billy and James, Dilly Dash, Dancy, Kami and Cupid, Prince and Vix, Donald and Rudy. We're gonna have a party here. Like you're gonna be so glad when we get back to the ship. This is the someone's calling me from in there. Oh, if they want something, they can come in here and get it.
You know, he mostly got most of the crew's names partially right. So maybe it really is just a learning disability or,
Hey,
you know.
Chaw.
Yeah.
You know that I'm gonna whisper to you. You know that thing that you do where you make your voice come from different places and you can make it real loud, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think you can make it sound like Dale from in that room in there where he's at?
Okay. And then what do you want him to say?
Well, you know, his crew, right? They're trying to party and have a good time and, you know, ignore the rest of us. And they, you know, trying to get a good night's sleep, but they were imprisoned in that cave with and I'm gonna kick him and be like, this guy right here. So they might be afraid of him. So I'm thinking we might, you know.
I got a good idea. Yeah, I totally hear you. Okay, ready? So Child's gonna sneak up to here, like around the corner, and wherever they are, and he's going to cast thaumaturgy away from him, and he's gonna like do he's gonna have to simultaneously he's gonna do like a minor illusion and show Dale walking into the room, being like, "Hey, you guys, I got away from him. I want to join you." What are you doing? I can play cards too. I sold part of my soul in order to be able to play cards really well too.
All right, so
I would like to
convince
throw
him
a
of
dagger
that.
through Dale's heart.
Well,
He's totally
order of
he's
operations.
not bound anymore.
Mhm.
He doesn't have any more manacles on or anything.
So
Totally free.
give me because it's almost a combination of performance and deception.
Which is perception.
Or not perception, performance and deception.
Yeah, I mean, combine the two and you get perception.
I understand the logic.
He's terrible at that. Give me, since you're trying to make a convincing Dale, give me a deception.
Okay. Deception. Here we go.
Ooh.
16.
And then Fletcher. So you see this. You know what? Give me a quick perception. I want to see if you see it first or if your crew sees it first. Ooh, you see it first. So you see, as everybody's kind of gotten eyes on you, they're settling in, they're starting to get happy, smiles are starting to crop along, individuals' faces, and you see Dale start to walk in and begin like it's just at that moment he's about to open his mouth and start saying something. And then you check the dagger.
This will be interesting.
One word
All
for
right.
it.
All right.
That dagger
Give
right
me
through
an
his
attack
heart.
roll.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Dale has no dex. Technically, sorta. I mean, basically all you have to do is beat a 10 because it isn't an illusion. So you chunk the dagger through its heart, and it just kind of flies right through it.
And Dale
Revealing-
looks down and he's like, see, I have all my powers back too.
I would like to cast minor illusion. All right.
All right.
Of Dale just walking into their room. All right. But I don't want it to be like exactly Dale. I want it to be Dale with huge buck teeth and like disheveled hair and just a goofy iteration of this, right? And so where you look at it and you're like, clearly this is somebody terrible at magic when you look at this spell, right? And then I'm just gonna shout back, "This is how bad your illusion was." Because I also know that spell and I know exactly what's going
Yeah, you wouldn't really have to make a check for that. It's very clearly.
We all watched that.
Yeah.
Do I?
And then the illusory Dale just starts snickering and then melts into a pool of like blood and goo and gore and then bursts into steam and disappears.
Picking
Does
up my dagger.
Raoul see all of this?
You wouldn't have seen Chaw's version because it's well a ways off.
But I would have known what he's doing, right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys concocted the plan.
Psychologically tormenting people who have been chained up for who
Yeah,
knows how
yeah.
long. Yeah.
Oh,
So at the
Mhm.
sight of the Goofy Dale walking in, I'm gonna be so tired that I've forgotten all of this and point at it and be like, "What the fuck is there two Dales for? What's going on?" And I'm gonna immediately like jump up like I'm gonna attack.
Nivara, like, Raoul, what were you laying on top of?
I'm gonna look down and be like, "There's more than that."
Raoul?
Raoul, you need a nap.
You
know.
really need to go to bed.
Just a little nap.
I'm gonna reach over whoever's closest to me, and I'm gonna just like kind of pat you, but like way more aggressive than it should be. Are you real? And slap you.
It's debatable. Really?
In a sense.
And then sit back down on Dale.
Meanwhile, you guys in this room can hear the sounds of laughter and cheers and excitement and a party in the other room.
A
And-
total
oh, and
party with
music.
0 supplies. They do have all of our rations though. So
Your ration is Chuck, because you were a nice person. Nivara was
I
not.
was.
Meaning Nivara can now hand out her rations to to her party.
Aw. Thanks. I starts chewing on.
And she's like, well, he's kind of a cunt. And kind of,
Kinda.
yeah, that might not be
Totally.
strong enough.
Goodness. Despot. Tyrant. I wonder who Max sold his soul to.
Father, statistically,
Are we talking about Max or are we talking about Dale?
Max.
Well, both.
Oh, I kind of like that Max fella. Well, I know what it
Aw.
is.
Because you're
Really
both
dumb.
kind of dickheads.
I feel like he's
Yeah,
useful,
I
you
think
know?
that might be it. It's probably because you need a nap that you like Max.
Yeah. That
You
might help.
know, seems like the type that knows how to get their fingers in places fingers shouldn't be.
Hey, Kozik, you're not weighing in on any of this. How you doing over there, buddy? You're
You
not looking at that horrifying teddy bear, are you?
no. But I still don't trust. I don't think any of us trust Max any more than we did when we first met him. But he sure has said a lot of things, and he's tried to manipulate us a lot, hasn't he?
He has. He has a spell on me.
I just wanted an
Charmed me.
acknowledgement of that, while people claim to be his best friend and stuff like that.
Kozik. You realize that Cha was literally under an influential spell, right? He was not actually ever Cha's best. He was not ever Max's best friend.
Sometimes I don't know what Mr. Cha is thinking either, so
Well, at the time, he felt like a close acquaintance, basically. Now, he feels like less than, quote, a close acquaintance. That's all. Like, it didn't stop me from trying to save Raoul when I saw that he was in danger and potentially was going to get murdered. Like, it didn't stop me from saying no to Max and helping Raoul. But now it's like there was a sort of fuzzy feeling I had toward Max, and now it's just totally gone.
we should all just remain vigilant around him. That's all I'm saying.
You don't know what I'm thinking at times?
That would be an understatement,
Really?
Mr. Cha. And perhaps it's for the best.
Cha's the easiest of all of us to read. Maybe he's.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, behind Kozik, of course. Kozik is like an open book.
Well, should we go lock up Dale, or what should we do?
I mean, and she gestures to the fact that he's being laid on top of by one Raoul.
One giant bird. Well, I
And-
guess he's being secured right now. But ultimately,
Yeah.
didn't he say he was from a village somewhere around here?
Yes. From that one that we saw for a little while before we met up with Sid, the hunter, who lured us back to Dale, where we, where all this started. He's from that town. It was called, what was it, Zartharin, Zerthrol, Zechariah,
Dang.
Zephra. I don't remember.
Z
I
something.
But it was that one with all the buildings on the side of the mountains and stuff.
Maybe
The
we should
town with
return
the-
him to where he comes from. I'm sure he's probably a scoundrel who's wanted for crimes there anyway.
I was wondering that too, actually. Like, what would those people? Hey, Dale, what do the people of your town think of you?
They think I'm the greatest person ever.
Yeah, we're okay. And what?
Do I need to do an insight check on that? I think we all know that's a lie.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to.
Oh, goodness. Okay, well, forget that. That might have saved your ass, but now we're just going to see what the mimics want to do with you, buddy.
I
Good
kind
job.
of. Did they eat you?
Probably going to eat you because you know why, Dale? You've been starving them.
And making them eat adventurers.
Yeah.
I don't see how we can, in good conscience, just feed him to these creatures up there.
You
Well,
don't.
we
Called
made-
see.
capital punishment.
We made the decision to spare his life.
I made
And
the
now-
me made the decision to spare his
Right.
life,
Just
as
me,
well as
Laura.
exactly. And I also made the decision to kill him in the first place. So, like, I giveth, I can taketh away. I
Well,
reserve
he's-
that right.
he's
Now
Dale,
we all
but
have to deal with your decision to have done that. We can't
Well-
just murder him now that we've saved him.
Just turn your head around. Don't worry. You're not a part of it, I promise.
You don't have capital punishment where you come from for crimes that are horrible and inexcusable?
I don't know. Last I heard, I was not a judge sitting on a bench.
I mean, if you think that's how most capital punishments work in either my society as a drow or Chaw's society as a tiefling, I think that you're gravely mistaken about the state of affairs.
I'm gonna look
She's
up and
got
be
a
like,
point. I was being liberal about the idea.
you guys have judges?
Oh,
You know what,
Well-
Kozik? You're a good judge. What do you think we should do with Dale?
I think we should return him to where he came from. I don't trust the that the mimics are going to they're going to I don't think they'll make the right decision
You know, I read about democracy
eating him.
back in the Hells.
I think that's rather
What you're saying,
unfair.
it's non-biased.
The thing is that when a crime is committed, the harm has to be dealt with by the people that were harmed, you know.
It's mob justice.
No, it's not. So, a crime in the liberal sense should be addressed in the jurisdiction it was committed in, yes? As in the people who were the victims of the crime, the people who were most effective, have a stake in seeing the outcome of the crime resolved.
I don't
That's-
really
If
trust.
if he's extradited to the place where people don't even know what he did,
Then
they
they'll
won't
just
know
let
how
him
to
off.
judge his crimes.
You know, the thing I think about it is, do the contract and all that. I feel like that's a crime against nature itself of the plane as a whole. So, jurisdiction's kind of all of it, right?
Technically speaking, you're talking to two different people who live on two separate planes. So, one, don't worry about that. Two, what do you mean you don't trust the mimics? Do you think that they're less sentient, less able to set aside personal harm and
I was
enact
wondering
fair
that too.
justice?
I
Are you
frankly,
being anti-doppelganger?
I frankly think that these mimics are little more than beasts, and far less sentient than any one of our group here.
And
See, you
Niavara's
are a
eyes.
great judge. Look how judgmental you just were right there. You're a good judge.
Niavara glares a little bit at Kozik for that, like, oh, do you now? What gave you that impression?
These are
There are many
ravenous
people.
mimics.
Have they actually eaten you?
No, I'm still here to
Didn't
tell the
they?
tale.
Didn't they help us at multiple intervals while
They
they're
restrained
hungry?
themselves from eating us so that we could help. Sentience? They're hungry, man. We fed them a dinosaur. And they're
Every
still hungry.
individual culture must eat in some way. I'm sorry that it offends your sensibilities that they might eat meat.
Well, but obviously
Oh.
Dale is much more than just meat.
No.
He's a human being. If my looks, if I can tell that from his species.
Is he?
So like
He's
while
from
you
the
guys are having
Feywild.
this discussion, like when somebody
Gross.
drives past your house and they have like the subwoofers on and it's just like the ground is almost vibrating. Yeah, the party in the other room is full swing. Anyway, continue.
Figured out that musical devices or something.
I got like minor illusions cast for like strobe lights and stuff. I'm blasting on the lute, and you just hear like, "Everybody get up, it's time to slam now," and we're just having like a good like 2000s party in here, right?
Ah. I think we should call the authorities for noise complaints.
I do
Why
feel
don't we
like
just
we might be going around in circles
to the
here
mimic?
with the whole morality debate. I would like to bring up the whole fact of why we were here in the first place.
To free
If-
the mimics from control, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, we still need to see if that even
Well,
happened.
Exactly. Part of that plan was to rid the Earth of this fella here. He's gonna start like tapping Dale on the head again.
At this point, Dale's like barely awake. Like you guys having all these conversations, and
Sitting here
he can't
determining
really
his
do
fate right
anything,
in
and
front
he's
of
just
him.
been like sat on by Raul. Like he's just like,
Raoul weighted blanket.
It'll be a moot point because he'll be smothered by Raul and we'll find him dead later.
I mean, ideal in a way.
It's an interesting idea that because you kept him alive now, that he shouldn't be killed later. Like it's just a very interesting, intriguing idea. I've never heard anything quite like it.
Thing
I
to
Fascinating.
defeat the enemy in battle. It's another thing to execute him.
My
And he
main
wasn't even
concern,
in charge of his own faculties
my
after a
main
certain
concern
point.
is
That part
is
is
that
true.
is
But
is that whole bit there. He accepted a deal with a demon that allowed
yeah,
him to be possessed. We exorcised said demon,
yeah.
and now we're just gonna go let him walk around and potentially do it again. Why would he have any reason not to make another contract
He
immediately?
has
Get
been
all his powers
justifying
back.
it. Ever since we freed him, he's been justifying doing it, even though he knows now he was possessed by a devil.
He was trying to convince us that he was not responsible for anything that he's done, while also telling us, well, I'd probably do it again.
Mm.
So why are we wasting time? If we're gonna let him free, uncuff him. Let him walk out the fucking door. We don't need to keep dragging him around. If we're gonna kill him, let's fucking mess this room up with his blood then.
I just thought we'd see what the mimics wanted to do with him, and also to prove to them that he is indeed vanquished and that we captured him. Maybe explain to them what happened, and then see what they decide. That was my thought.
2, 3, 4 rooms.
They
Okay.
eat him.
I,
They
I
eat
don't
him.
I don't think it
Or
was
if they
really
imprison him.
it wasn't really their call in the first place that we went after him. That was our decision.
Well, they
Well,
So
they
wanted
even the
couldn't have made the
decision
call because they were under the influence of a spell.
correct.
Yeah, they definitely
But
implied
to,
that they
to
wanted.
Kozik's point, now leaving the decision up to them, that's
Yeah,
almost unfair to them.
to them. Huh.
I mean, they eat meat. They do eat humans. Like, they don't
They were going to
choose.
eat us.
They didn't want
Yes.
to.
Well,
They didn't want to though. They were starving.
because
He
of Dale.
starved them.
Because of this guy. Right. So we're trying to have a debate on moral dilemma when we've basically already done what we're now mulling over what we should do or not. We've already killed him.
Well, we don't
And
know if they're
yet,
going to kill him. Maybe
He's
they'll just want
and
to
yet
alive.
imprison him.
he
There
lays
could be
there
community service.
He's
breathing.
alive based on our
Mine.
transgressions or actions, whatever have. So now we're gonna go up to the mimics and say, all right, we've already killed him. We brought him back so that you can now decide whether or not you want to kill him. That was never part of the equation.
I mean, I'd want to kill somebody who wronged me. I get it.
I thought we'd explain to them that it wasn't really him, and then they can, but that this guy made a really stupid mistake and made a stupid decision, and is a
So now
stupid
we're speaking on
guy.
behalf of him. This is where I'm getting very confused. I'm not going to go speak to the mimics and try and convince them that this fella's a good guy.
No, he's not a good
What are
guy.
we
I'm
doing
saying.
here?
That actually does make sense. And Neavara takes out her dagger.
Well, I am
I-
curious
Kozik,
what kind of reward they'll give us if we have a live body, you know?
I was just like, whoa.
Why don't we just see what they say? And if they want to kill him, they'll kill him. If they don't, we kill him. Then they eat him.
Yeah,
Win-win. You know,
Let's just sit on it, right, Raul?
that's what I'm saying. But first and foremost, I'm not trying to be rude. I want to sleep for at least a little bit.
Oh, we should sleep.
Be fair, Raoul.
Yeah, let's
And
go. Let's go
then
pass through
we
that party and
do
just
I?
go up into the other house. We'll leave Dale downstairs. Maybe Raul could just sit on it. We'll go check out the house, see if it's still there and everything, and take a rest. A good
Well,
discussion, everybody.
we'll get
Really
what you're all
interesting.
saying. Joe, get what you're saying. Seth, get what you're saying. Well, I'm just saying. You know, you're monetarily right. They wanted us to do the thing. If we bring him back alive and we're like, hey, do what you will with him, might give us a little bit better reward because they get, worry of killing him themselves if they're bloodthirsty. If not, and they're like, we don't give a shit. You Bora stab him in the throat for all I care.
I
They
do
could
want to
use
bring
him
up
as a
that
bargaining chip in
we
that
didn't have
town
any
where
sort of
he's from.
we didn't have any sort of deal, or like the mimics did not task us to go take out Dale. They
Well,
have
that's
no
true.
idea what we've been doing. They were under his control. They were barely even able to speak his name.
Oh no, that's true.
The
That's
pair
very
of us.
true.
He
But
effectively freed the town.
and now we've got the leverage into talking them into giving us their stuff.
In all fairness,
like,
this is
hey,
all my fault. I'm the one who said that we should defeat Dale. You guys wanted to leave town. I was the one who insisted. No, I'm sorry. I got all of us into this.
No,
I just
it's.
want this meat taken care of. That's all I care about.
I
And
also
oh, go
strongly
on.
wanted to take care of Dale. Don't blame yourself, Chaw.
And to be
knows.
fair, Raul has been carrying this meat around for a good at least a day now, and you guys were in the snow, so that kind of preserved it. But you'd probably get a good feeling that this stuff is probably gonna start smelling real bad real soon.
Where did that meat come from?
Dinosaur.
Oh, that dinosaur.
Oh God, you're still carrying that around?
Yeah, I'm gonna make something out of it.
Oh, the hide. I thought you picked all the meat off of the hide.
Well, I
not-
flashed it, but that
yeah, it's
doesn't
not
mean
completely
it's
clean.
tanned yet.
Oh, but you didn't like tan it. Right.
Yeah, that takes brains and stuff in a stretching rack, and we had to, we ran off and.
Yeah, that was a good group huddle up. And it was max free. And boy, isn't that refreshing.
At some point, while I understand your energy, Chaw, at some point this is going to quickly cross over the line from being righteously angry to hazing.
Sure.
I support this max hitting train up to a point.
Totally. I get you. I'm just being, passive aggressive at this point. It'll
Oh,
stop.
absolutely. I understand.
If he doesn't tap into my deepest horrible nightmares, too often. It'll stop.
Mhm. I understand. And she glances at Kozik like, I think the same thing about many people. At many times.
Hmm. Well, just to be clear, what I want, what I think is the correct thing to do would be to return this creature to his own village, and then we will have done our duty to free the mimics of this evil influence. I don't think it seems like you guys all really want to stab him somewhere in the heart or something in some dark corner and just leave him to die. That doesn't seem right, does it?
Does actually. It sounds really nice, actually.
That's what we were here for in the first place.
I personally haven't thought that. I just thought he's he's taken over the town because he was possessed. I
But
believe.
the
I
more
understand what
than
you're saying. Duly
the more,
noted.
and I'm not trying to justify re-killing him. I'm just saying we already did it. Now we brought him back. Now we got to deal with that. To Kozik's point. However, he's given us okay, he was possessed, right? Now he's not. He's speaking on his own volition, and he's given us every reason to think that even outside of being possessed, he'd still try and take over that town. That's just the type of fella he is. I'm Not saying we kill him now, but I'm also not opposed to it.
It's a good
Done
question.
worse.
If you had the chance to sell his soul again, would he do it?
Yes, I think he would.
I'm convinced, yes.
Some people are only good
Why?
for the coffin.
If you don't, okay. A question here. Just everyone take a perspective step back. Why do we have him chained up? Because we
I
don't
suppose
trust him.
because we're not sure if he'll be possessed again. Although you did
Right.
doesn't seem that the holy water might have done something. Like,
So if he's not a threat, we let him go.
gosh, we just don't know
I-
if he's a threat.
I would rather set him free to live his own life here in the Feywild, and maybe he will be, preyed upon by superior forces, or maybe he won't. But I'd prefer that to murdering him in the name of some sort of supposed rationality. Unless you guys are really that bloodthirsty that you just must kill him.
Now, Kozik, are you opposed to if somebody else murders him? Like if we take him up there and they want to kill him, is that a problem?
With the mimics?
Yeah.
Well, we know how
Yeah,
Kobe
I don't
feels about the mimics.
I don't have much faith in their sense of judgment
Don't
or
say it.
fairness.
Yeah, that's interesting. He just did it again.
That's all I need to know. I don't care if he, I got a strong urge to unalive him, but, I don't care if it's in my hand.
But we're learning a lot on this adventure about one another.
Well, I just got a meat when they probably got craftsmen, and now they're not under a spell. I don't think they're going to try and eat me alive to get to it. I want to see that through.
Let's get
Very-
moving and see what happens.
Good idea.
Yeah.
It's
Let's
been
go.
long
Let's
enough
go
for us
crash
to
this
short
party.
rest. Have we dilly dallied for at least an hour? Did I get some sleep
Uh,
in and out?
Sure. I think we put the DM to sleep too.
We did.
Oh no, I've been adding to the party praises.
Neovara is going to suggest, like, you know what? They can have their party downstairs here in this little fucking dungeon. I'm gonna go upstairs to the nice house that he made out of all the stolen stuff he had.
That's
And
what I was
maybe
thinking.
Get him to tell us
once
where the
Kozik sees how many fucking Dwarvish artifacts he's stolen off of dead Dwarvish explorers, adventurers like himself, he might have a change of heart.
Oh, that's personal.
Well,
Well,
clearly,
That's what you
since he
said
only
about-
thinks that people like him are the ones that are capable of rational thinking thought.
What was that you said about hazing earlier?
This isn't hazing.
I'm just messing with you.
I agree. We should take Dale back up to the scene of some of his crimes there, and then maybe he can tell us some of the secrets that he's hidden around there.
Char gets very serious for a second. He's like, okay, we can do that, but be very careful. If his contract is around there, it could be bad. If he has contact with it, if he utters a certain incantation, possibly, it's hard to say what attachments he may have to it. We might not want to bring him into the house until we find it and stash it or something
Destroy
like
it.
that. That's a very good point. I don't know if they can be destroyed, actually.
I got an
Another
idea.
question about that, Shaw. Just real quick, as far as the whole possession thing goes, if you're and I do apologize if this is an insensitive question. I don't know. But if you've possessed someone, you're controlling them as a vessel now. If somehow, whether it was they're doing or someone else is doing, that connection is severed, is there a reaction, like maybe a negative one, like now you're the enemy of the host, sort of? Like, is there potential chance that a demon's going to come after Dale wanting to kill him instead of repossess him.
Oh, and all of us too. We sent those those
Of
devils
course.
back to
Oh,
hell.
well, I
They
figured they'd be
don't.
coming after
We
us.
don't. Yeah,
But
they don't. We don't.
he's not looked at
Don't
as
do
like a
this to them.
friend still, like a potential host. They're like they're past him now. Is that how that sort of thing works?
I think they'll want to recapture what they lost. The
Okay.
contracts in hell are binding for eternity. So
So
I
they
think
feel
that
like
they'll definitely want him, and
he's
they'll want to know
property
what
at this point.
broke the connection. He's definitely
So
property, no matter what.
okay,
That's
food for
why I was
thought. The
curious
longer
what's
we
going to
keep him
happen to him when he
around,
dies.
then the longer we keep him around, the better chance that whoever's looking for him is going to find us all.
Yes.
Well,
Sweet dreams.
I think that they're going to possibly find us anyway because uh, we basically vanquished one of the mortal enemies of my family in hell, and so now they know that I'm here. They're back in hell now. So I mean, cat's
And
out of the bag.
and upon that realization, Shaw,
Yeah.
a very clear memory of something Tio Moonblade told you about being careful what path you tread because others will use it.
With that conversation going on, listening to what they're saying, Raul is going to very grumpily
You're kind of quiet.
stand up. Oh, sorry, I'm leaning back in my chair. With that being said, and listening quietly, listening to what they're saying, Raul is going to very grumpily stand up and very aggressively grab Dale's manacles and yank him up by them forcefully and be like, all right, contract, I don't give a shit about that. He's not going to be in the house long enough for him to be able to touch it. I'm going to start walking towards the door with the intentions of walking upstairs, opening the front door, and yeeting him out the front door.
All right, so those of
Okay.
you downstairs just kind of see Raul grabbing Dale aggressively and just pulling him.
Oh, I think that's funny. Give him to the mimics. I think that's justice.
While
I mean,
I
you're
guess we're all
certainly
gonna-
free to follow him if you want. I'm just saying, as far
yeah,
as
I guess
his intent, you don't really know what his intent is down here. Is just he just grabbed him and just started pulling him along. Do you go through the party or not?
Hey, Raul. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going through the party.
Nevar's like, yeah.
I'm just gonna walk right past it though. Just not even look really.
I don't mean this as a slight to y'all. I'm just, I'm ready to be rid of him.
That tracks. Nevar's also heading upstairs.
As soon as they're passing through the party zone, by the way, I believe this would be difficult terrain because it's so packed and sloppy. You got these
actually gonna
13
walk this.
pirates that are so scrawny and malnourished, and they have scabs everywhere. Rats have eaten away at parts of their beard and their face, and like it looks like you could just bowl them over with like a light breeze. But they don't care because they're just so happy and giving me these positive affirmations while being sloppy drunk.
Yeah. Yep,
And
there's
I-
one, in the corner there, like Blitzen's like, woo! And like
Yeah.
and then, Rudolph's over there like, I'm so drunk, it's just it's
Where'd you
happening over
even
here.
get the alcohol from?
Look,
I'm gonna-
charm magic is so effective at creating good parties, isn't it?
I'm going to walk up to Max and then I'm going to lean in and be like, hi. And I'm going to hold Dale up and be like, you smell that? And I'm going to wink at him and be like, come on. And I'll walk towards the door.
I don't wait. Did you want to party with us, or what do you? I don't understand what you were telling me.
I'm going to
Nobody
gesture down to
understands.
Dale again and be like, give him a sniff.
I'm gonna smell Dale. What's wrong with him?
He smells like a delicious feast.
What?
He smells like dead meat.
May or may not have magical tinkered his clothing to smell like meat.
Why?
Come on, let's go.
I'm gonna
You
come
are
out of curiosity.
Trotting up the stairs eagerly.
I'll
That's
follow Raul.
the most genuine thing you said the whole campaign. Why?
All right, come on, let's go.
While we're all following Raul, is there any way that I can try to comfort or soothe the dragon on my shoulder?
At the moment, it's practically dozed off. Like all this conversation about morality it just got bored. It
All right, then
did not care.
I'll leave it
Okay,
asleep
Raul,
then. Let it
Raul,
rest.
hold on. Don't take him up there yet. He might get repossessed if his contract is there. So let's wait and check out the room first before you bring him up, okay?
I have a
Uh.
feeling that even if he gets repossessed, and I'm going to lean into Cha and wink and be like, it'll be an overwhelming possession if you get what I'm saying.
I want to leave
Oh.
Blitz in charge now that I'm taking the music away, and just tell him make sure everybody gets some rest. After they finish partying.
Okay.
I don't know if Cha can smell it or not because I whispered it to Max, so I don't.
Did I-
I
That
don't
smells
know.
delicious.
Can
Delicious.
I message Cozy telepathically real quick?
Pretty sure you can.
Yeah, okay. I just want to say like, hey, I just want to say I appreciate you keeping my secret even in front of the crew because they don't know either. But I don't like where we're going right now. Why are you doing this?
Where we're going? What do you mean?
Metaphor?
With the Dale situation, why he smells like really delicious.
Does he? He smells like something?
Yeah. I
What
mean,
is it?
like I said, he smells like really good to eat. Like I almost bit him as he passed.
The
Are you
10-foot
feeling
radius
okay?
around him.
Why are you doing this?
It finally
We're just
dawns on Shaw as well. He's like, wait a minute. Did you make him smell like that so that the mimics eat him?
I'll
Well,
yell
it's a good thing
backwards
Raul's
and-
the first one up the stairs.
I'll yell back and be like, "Yep," as I walk up the stairs.
Raul! Ah.
Neovar has put it together, but didn't want to spell it out any more than dead meat. But
So
is right behind him.
Raul is the first one up the stairs. You are once again in Dale's house of luxury.
I'm just
Cushy
going right to
cushions
the
and
door.
to which your
Straight-
device is still there.
And I'm going to
wedged
open
in.
the device, swing the door open, chuck him out the door, close the door,
Oh,
lock the device.
wait, what? I mean,
So let's see, how long do you wait for anything to happen?
Until I hear things. I'll yell too. I'll be like,
we're
dinner's
right
ready.
behind him.
Out the door as I do it to alert the presence of everybody and then close the door behind.
Should we be
Okay.
seeing a map, or is this the?
It's this one because at the
Yeah.
time I did. Dale wasn't a very big town, so I kind of just used the backdrop for it.
We
Okay.
turned it into a big town.
Bro,
So-
what?
You yeet Dale outside, and not even a minute later, you hear the
Oh,
panicked screams of terror, preceded with some sloshy sounds, preceded
go
with the
sit on the
sounds of
couch.
bones being broken.
and
shattered.
And I'm going to put my hands behind my head and I'm going to go to sleep.
Preceded, and as your sleep aid, preceded by the sound of a blood-curdling yell and then silence.
It's like home.
I'm going to open one eye and I'm going to look over at everybody like coming in the room and be like, problem solved.
And it's
Wait, you make a good judge too, Raul.
Max
You
definitely
solved
looks like
that
sick
thing.
at her stomach right now.
Yeah, Max, like as somebody who's been out and about, you've been in combats, you've had to fight people off. You fended off that other ship. You know what it's like for somebody to, be felled by a weapon or a blade or a sword. But this is a whole nother level. This is like,
I
you could
also
end
know
them
when
quickly.
people don't have a choice. Do you know what I mean? When I felt sympathy for this character not knowing the full story. When it's like, oh, he was possessed by a demon. I'm like, yeah, well, sometimes you sign up to be a sailor and you become a pirate. Sometimes you travel the wrong path, but that doesn't make you a bad person. And oof, this is terrible.
It's too bad you were partying while we were having this discussion. You've said the things that I could not say.
But yeah,
I mean,
this is a whole
wait,
nother level. Like
I didn't
hearing, like knowing that.
explain it to them first, not just
Yeah.
chuck him out like meat.
Yeah, but basically, this is a. This is something you'd imagine that much worse people would be doing if you were out there in the astral sea, because at least somebody gets stabbed through the heart, it's quick, or they get their throat cut, it's quick. This is over the course of maybe like 3 minutes, just the combination of all those things happening.
Hey, I'll rob, steal, and plunder. All right, and if you want to like swashbuckle, all right, I'm down for it. But feeding a man to a bunch of mimics, oof. I'm gonna be very disappointed in Cozy because that's the only one I've been communicating with. Like these are inner thoughts because again, I don't want to show that weakness, right?
Well, he's disappointed in him
because he's the only one who was against it.
Because I'm the only one that you're the only one I really talk to. Why?
That's why you're disappointed in him.
Yeah, because I just said, why does he? Because I had suspicions, and then it happens, and I'm like, are you serious? Like this is all telepathic. This is who you are, your group.
Evidently, this is who they are. I tried my best to stop them, but it was too fast. It all happened too quickly.
Damn, I didn't want this.
The telepathic communication. I'm disappointed in you, Cozy. I thought you were better than this.
You don't even know me, nor I you.
Yeah, apparently. I thought I got good feelings from you because you seem, genuine.
Just get out of my head and talk to somebody else.
Yeah, gladly. I'm gonna go back to the party.
Party, woo!
Now the music has changed completely, right? It's
Sad
a
boy
little bit
hours.
Billie Eilish, but like darker kind of stuff, right?
Your hair gets real emo-y and covers one eye.
Yeah.
I mean, my only thought about it is that how many individuals did he do this to over time? I can't feel bad for him.
I guess we'll never know.
Well, no, we actually probably can guess. And she gestures around at the treasures around them. Count how many things are here.
He didn't do it.
No, he did. No, he did it. The devil and him. Like, he was very clear about it. He didn't necessarily maybe want to go as far, and he didn't necessarily want as many bodies. But as you said, Cha, he would willingly do it again. Meaning, with all of the consequences in mind, he would gladly go back and kill 100, 200 more people.
Yeah, you got a point there.
As the sounds are kind of dying. Sorry, Cozy.
We knew him for all of, 10, 15 minutes? And we're so sure about his personality, what he would and would not do, how many people he's killed or stolen from. It doesn't matter at this point. Let's just get our pillowcases out and start filling them up. We're upstairs now.
As the sounds start to die off and as they're talking, I'm going to look at whoever's closest to me. And I'm going to be like, and the thief loses his hands. And I'm going to fall asleep.
Raul, this has been, as you start to doze off, this is definitely, this is the most comfortable you have been in who knows how long you've been in here.
Sleeping real good.
Like you get this sense of accomplishment, but for some other weird, awkward reason, this sense of a job well done.
I have to be really careful when we go out there.
Dragon patron, like, yeah, get his ass.
So is this where everybody wants to do their long rest in the
I think
security
so.
of Dale's exorbitantly extravagant homestead?
I'm gonna
we
magic tinker
do that
my
first?
bag of
We should
meat
probably do this
to smell
first.
like flowers and try and mask the smell of the meat before I go to sleep.
Do we have things that we want to identify? Like
Can
while
we
we're
do that on a
resting?
long rest, or is that a short rest? How does that work again?
So it's burp. So to identify an item, typically you can do it through the identify spell or spending an hour studying it, so as a short rest. But you can do it as a long rest, as part of your long rest, but then you kind of wouldn't really be getting as much of a
Or you
rest.
need
either.
6 hours of actual sleep, unless you're an elf, then it's 4 hours of meditation, and then 2 hours of just gentle activity.
Yeah. Which is kind of interesting when you think about it.
Deadline. We don't
Yeah.
have a deadline. We can,
Which is
take
kind of
an hour.
interesting as a mechanic, because it's like them adding that kind of makes identify almost something you don't even need really, unless you absolutely have to know on the spot. And even then, it's still a ritual spell for some casters. So it's like,
I was gonna say, I
Interesting.
thought like you could
Right.
attune to a thing, but that you don't necessarily know what it does, right? If you spend an hour with it, whereas identify gives you all the properties of it, and if it has any curses.
I can cast it as a ritual. I just don't have the material components to do it.
If I bet you if we
That's
look
really
around Dale's
interesting.
shit, we might be able to find the components to do it.
I just need a pearl.
I think we should loot the place right now, and then
yeah. So
identify whatever we want.
the
That's a good call,
identify
yeah.
spell is the fastest way to reveal an item's properties. Alternatively, a character can focus on one magic item during a short rest while being in physical contact with the item. At the end of the rest, a character learns the item's properties as well as how to use them.
So loot, short rest, identify, long rest.
I guess it's
I like
just a
the sound of that.
mechanic for, if you have a party of all, fighters or melee characters, no spellcasters, still a way to have magic.
Yeah, and I might tinker with identify a little bit to give it more oomph, but a work in progress. Because in this kind of situation, it's just like, all right, well, why would you ever take the identify spell as long as you know you're going to have a 1 hour rest at some point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And your 2E does it is that you can roll to identify an object based off like your spell casting, like the thing attuned to it. Like if you're a divine spell, it'd be religion. If you're like arcane, it'd be arcana. And you have the chance to misidentify. I think maybe the identify spell would just be completely 100% accurate. It wouldn't require the roll.
I can take that into account, like
And
a
the way that it does
50-50
it is
chance
that
or
if
something.
it's a blind roll.
Yeah, like roll me a d20, and if it's But that'll be something for later. I still have to think on it, because after the last time we did the identify, it's like, man, the identify spell is almost worthless. But
We've
anywho,
been slowly figuring out all of our items anyway. Loot! Let us loot!
so who wants to identify what?
Well, I
we
think
looting or
Chaw had an
identifying?
idea that we were going to try and loot Dale's place because we might get more things that need to be identified here, and then
Well,
we can decide what we want to identify.
So it'll definitely take you some time to scavenge his homestead is the thing.
Do it.
Yeah, I don't think we have anywhere to be.
Are you doing this before the long rest or after?
So I think
Say before.
what I understood was we have a few things that we can identify already. If we loot Dale's house before doing this identification, we might find other things that we might want to identify instead.
Loot.
And so we loot first, potentially find some things, decide what we want to identify, do that, and then
Well,
if
how
we all
long will it take you to go through the house though? What if it's like an 8-hour process?
Then you'll have to deal with the consequences of it being an 8-hour process.
well, yeah, we wouldn't. That's separate from us just not sleeping for the next 8 hours doing something else.
You guys get the exhaustion like Raoul has now.
Yeah, I thought it was late.
Is it gonna
See,
take
at this point,
So-
I'm in favor of just taking the long rest and starting again in the morning. Niavara is already trying to lay down.
And then you can
So-
identify on your second long rest if there's not a lot going on.
So
Or
I
you
would
could short
say,
rest after.
because Dale's house didn't have any windows, when Raoul threw Dale out, it was definitely dark.
Ah. Okay, it's dark. So what is it?
I don't really
Loot,
care what we do
sleep,
either way.
identify,
Party?
whatever it
Let's
is.
just do fucking
whether-
rest.
No,
God damn it.
no matter how morally ambiguous or difficult it was, we completed our second mission, you guys. Congratulations.
All right.
Yay.
So long rest it is
Yay.
then.
Yeah.
All right.
Long rest with an identifier.
I just didn't want you guys to get like
Identify.
exhaustion or something like going through everything. You know what I mean?
No, it's okay. They can have exhaustion. It's fine. Nothing wrong with a little exhaustion. Raoul did
Did
it.
it take that long to loot the place?
It could. Nobody's gone through his house thoroughly. You guys have always just quickly passed through.
Okay. All right then. Long rest and we get an identify with it. We want to do that.
Yeah, I'd say you can long rest and identify one item.
I lose my exhaustion.
Bing
right?
bang boom.
Yep, you lose your exhaustion at the end of your long rest.
I want to identify.
We should set up watches. We should watch. We should make sure we have watches just in case.
How are you guys doing long rest? In
That
the
was
chat.
almost-
Yeah.
Like, if you're,
we can't do it yet. We haven't done it yet. We don't know what this night's gonna entail.
You can still hit the button.
Hazik,
Oh.
Raoul, and Zed hit their button. That's why I was asking, where's the button?
it's
under
underneath your hit
dice.
dice.
You got
L
it.
rest.
Yeah, in your hit dice, there's like S rest and then L rest just under it in the same box. And you just click the L rest.
On the character sheet.
For the watches, Raoul's already asleep. So
Okay, so Cha is gonna pull out an item that they've had for a while now that I think they pulled out of an animated humanoid bull stomach at one point, and it's a beautiful feathered hat. And he's going to just kind of take a look at it, put it on, move it around his horns, get it in a stylish fashion, and sit with that and see what that does.
So, without taking forever to describe it, basically, it's a hat of disguise.
Oh, there you go. Right.
And what about the dwarven like pickaxe head or whatever that I found?
The part of an item.
Yeah, well, I thought it was like the head of a pickaxe or
Yeah.
something, maybe that had dwarven runish kind of things on it.
It most definitely did. One sec, I'm bringing up my thingy here for this. Da, 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 da. So, essentially, it is a +1. Well, if there was the rest of the item with it, it would be a +1 pickaxe. But,
That's it. It looks real nice. That's all.
It's a +1. It would be a +1 if it had the handle and whatnot. It's it has the property is in the pick itself, so you can get somebody to attach it properly.
Sure, we can get a nice what do you call it? Axe handle or what? Pickaxe handle.
Yeah, if you find a handle, Zed has mending, so he can put the two pieces together.
Ah,
Hmm.
Also, Zed doesn't have any items in his own inventory that need identifying. If someone has an extra one, he can spend time doing that. But I was thinking instead, I would spend the time that I would be identifying something, trying to ingratiate myself with the dragon companion that we have. Hopefully, bolster that relationship a little bit, if possible.
Anything's possible. But I mean, you might gather that it might take a good bit of work to gain this thing's trust.
Yeah,
it's
I figured I'm
considering its
chipping away at
situation.
it.
Yeah, it's
No
a
pun intended.
ongoing. But was there anything you wanted? Did anybody have anything that need to be identified still?
I don't have anything. Mhm.
I
well,
think
and
it's the scroll that Niavara had. That's
Ooh.
the last item.
There were 3 things that we got recently. I think Max has them.
He's
But
partying.
Mm-hmm.
Other
I
than
don't-
I'd like
other
to
than
add, I'm
those.
not even gonna try to like figure out my magic stuff. I just want to dance.
There you go.
Like it's 1999. Yeah.
All right. So Niavar is going to be studying the scroll then.
Yeah, although I don't see it in my what's the word?
Compendium.
Yeah, I don't see it in my stuff at all. But everyone's mentioned that I have one, so I'm assuming I have one.
Yeah. So that would be Ace. Hold on. This is from this encounter. Give me a second. Bringing up list. There it is. So this is a scroll of Fog Cloud.
Interesting.
That was the one that Dale had on him.
Yep.
Yeah. You said
Oh.
fog cloud?
Yep.
That is
Oh.
interesting.
To get a quick good getaway, maybe.
Maybe.
I have a random question that had just popped in my head about
It's
a
a first
spell.
level. First level. What's up?
So you have the when you're casting spells, you have the verbal, somatic, and physical, right? Something like that.
Verbal and somatic mostly. Some of them have additional components.
Oh, component. Okay, okay. So I was under the impression that Jim's magic missile had a component that would be a gold piece. But now I'm looking on the spell and it's not actually there on the spell, but it does say at higher levels, the royalty component increases by 1 gold piece. It says the
Yes.
royalty component increases, but
Yes.
does it
So
start at
it's
1 or does it start at 0?
so it's 1 gold coin, which is consumed as a tax for using a spell. So
Does it say that anywhere?
so under
'Cause
Jin's magic
I
missiles,
thought it.
there's casting time 1 action, range 120 feet. Components, verbal, semantic, and monetary, I guess, and material. And it says 1 gold coin, which is consumed as a tax for using the spell. So
Where are you seeing that? Because that's what I remember, and my spell, the one that I have, doesn't have the material component.
Let me look at what you
It's-
have on yours.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
just
not
this
listed.
first level verbal semantic, one action, 120 feet.
But I was under the impression that I did have to have a gold piece,
Oh, let's look at
and
what
that's
he
why the higher
has.
level thing, the royalty component increases.
Spell book.
And I noticed that earlier when I was just looking at my spells to make sure that my spells refreshed, and just noticed that. Anyway, I'm not trying to distract. We could talk about that later. I was just trying to clarify.
5e2. Then spell gem.
Because I think when I was looking at it in the importer, it did have
Magic.
a material requirement, if you will.
It's one of those tricky ones, I think, because the Acquisitions Incorporated spell. Give me a sec. RP amongst yourselves.
Oh yeah, and you don't have to worry about it right now. I was just curious. Let's see.
There's Magic Missile.
So role playing amongst ourselves, I would say something peculiar about Max's position. They do not sleep with the crew. They don't sleep with anybody. They will go find their own space, even if it's a closet somewhere. They're very private about it. It's because the captain deserves the captain's quarters. You see, that's all it is. And so I definitely want to be like away from everybody.
Type of behavior that Niavara notes in her brain space because hey, she does that because she totally meditates
Uh-huh.
100% by herself.
One gold per
Yeah.
cast.
Totally
So-
meditates for that.
Totally meditates upright, doesn't sleep. She has no idea what you're talking about.
It is funny and ironic that we're all just giving Max shit for
Well,
not being
no.
able to tell the truth, yet we've been lied to from day one.
Niavara has been
We've all
upfront
been
about
lying.
lying. Like explicit. Her whole thing is like, yeah, my religion is lying. There
Well,
is no
that
to
and-
yourself.
And we don't know because you're not being I would say as obvious about it.
And Max is an easy scapegoat because their actions are so gregarious.
Yeah.
You're totally right. Though. You're totally
Absolutely.
right.
Raul's convinced he's not lying, even if he is lying, because he believes he's not.
He's lying to himself.
Yeah, he's lying to himself. So he could be telling you lies, but he is fully, wholeheartedly doesn't think
A
they're
bunch of us, or probably all of us, are lying by omission in some way. Sure.
All right. Speaking of
He's
missions,
pretty honest.
so now y'all
So our time
looting the joint.
RPing with each other was just reflecting on how much deception we pull on each other.
So looting the joint. You got your full
Okay,
long
so we
rests
woke up.
in.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow. God, when's the last time we did that? Which plane of existence was it even on?
In a very luxurious house, so it's also very comfortable. You weren't hoofing it. You weren't out in the woods. I mean, probably the last time you had a chance to sleep on a couch or a bed or some nice cushions was way back when you first got to Grinstall.
Kinda
still,
makes you
even
want
then,
to make
not
a deal with the
squishy.
devil, doesn't it?
No,
Like,
can't say he does.
I had a
Sorry,
weird
too
dream that
soon.
we
Too soon.
went down into like a cave and then fought some devilish demon sort of folk, and then we dunked this fella in a fountain and got him naked and drug him all over the place. It was cold, and then there was a fire. Holy shit, that wasn't a dream, was it?
Yavara scratches
Facetiousness
her
is
neck.
enjoyable.
She's finished her morning her morning rituals, and she's like, no, it wasn't. She's like, I gotta, well, like, part of being a cleric is that you actually do have to pray every morning. That's how you refocus your shit. So she does get up earlier to start that process.
Rebel's gonna ponder on what it looks like outside, but he's not gonna tell anybody.
Also, Kozik, roll me a D100 real quick, as you have a delightful rest. Right
in
down the middle. Yep. I will send you a secret message that only comes to you. Continue.
Nice.
Shaw's doing push-ups all on like his index and thumbs. Up and down with his feet like up against the wall. His head facing down, just doing push-ups. Very stretching. Oh man. All right, yes, looting. Let's do it. Let's see what he's got. What he's stolen. From so many people.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could give it back to anybody who's
So-
family.
Since they're doing this, that means the 13 scallywags and I can also assist them in helping find treasure and loot, right?
You guys partied so hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say like
Hangovers up
one or
the
two of
wazoo.
them.
Okay.
Because, there was a lot of alcohol, there was partying.
Whatever helps
No,
cut
they're-
down the time.
They're conscious, it's just, they're also recovering from a lot of wounds and whatnot as
Yeah.
well. So a lot of them will
Let
sleep
'em
in.
Sleep in little, yeah.
So, if
I'll
you
help
guys
anybody
are...
who wants to look.
Is there a kitchen area or anything?
Oh yeah, there's a kitchen with like hanging pans. Some of them look like they even have like gold handles, like
Wow.
just
Is there a
all sorts of fancy cutlery and like golden like forks and silver spoons and
Well, I want to check out that area first for me.
Yeah, what is the layout of this building?
so
We
for the
have
most
maybe
part
a
it's
nice-
pretty small. So there's a living room that you guys first entered in, that you saw the tapestries and the couch and the vases and all that. There is a kitchen, somewhat separate, but nothing that's like too crazy far away. Hold on, let me look at that. So there is the living room, the kitchen. There is a bedroom, depending on who wants to go there. I'll describe that as whoever enters
go
said
there.
thing. And that's the gist of it. Like, there's the nice out front, then there's a kitchen and a bedroom. All the stuff anybody would need to live on their own. Aside from a bathroom, but there's outside for that.
Okay.
Or a butler to do it for you. Me, bathroom.
I was gonna pull out mittens and put him on his shoulder and just stroke his little skeletal face now and again. You haven't got enough attention lately, have you, Mitten? You adorable little dead thing.
I want to head to
I'm
the
here
bedroom
too!
with Billy and Dash.
All right.
Dash is a gift, so he's like an anthropomorphic hippo person who really loves guns. Very slow thinking and has like a blonde wig. It's very obvious that this is a wig, right? But he swears it's his natural hair, and he's always like straightening it and flipping it around and stuff. And Dilly is kind of like a ginger-haired like human woman. She's very absent-minded, but she brings up spirits a lot. She's very cheerful, right?
Yep.
And we just want to do like a thorough investigation. This isn't our first, rodeo here. We're gonna be like, if there's like a bookcase, we're gonna pull every single book, right? We're gonna we're gonna look at like the knobs on like the bedposts and stuff and see if we can unscrew them, see if there's a secret in there somewhere. We're gonna flip like carpets and stuff and like we're gonna like run check.
All right.
this
So the important question is, which room are you checking out first?
the bedroom.
Okay.
I
So
was
we
gonna
got
say the bedroom
one in
too,
bedroom.
Neovara.
I'll
more
go down the
merrier. They
list.
can all come. Yeah.
So, Cha, which room are you checking out?
Well, I was gonna ask Neovara if you wanted to check out the bedroom because I didn't think it would be wise to do something alone. But,
If Cha was asking Niavara specifically, then yeah, she would say yes.
okay, so I guess if Max is everybody wants to go in there together, maybe.
Oh, I'm going down the list. So we got Cha in bedroom, all right. And we got the fearless one, bedroom, with 2 compatriots. Kozik, which room?
I was interested in the kitchen, the scullery area.
All right, we got 1 for the skullduggery area. Niavara.
With Cha, because I thought that Cha was asking her to join.
All right, bedroom. Raul.
Wherever like a study or place where like the documentation will be, someplace I can look for the.
Nothing like that's readily apparent.
Yeah, gotta be hidden somewhere.
And I'm gonna look near the display cases and like bookshelves where we found the pick and the other like valuable goods and see if I can find.
All right,
Part.
1 for living room. And then Zed.
Yeah, I'll look around in the living room as well.
2 for living room. Okay. So let's start with the bedroom, as that has the most people going to it. So at this point, maybe through perfect timing, fate, whatever the case may be, you all kind of reached a conclusion, hey, let's check out the bedroom. There could probably be some juicy stuff in there. To which you all do manage to make your way into Dale's bedroom. It is, you open the door and it's unlocked because he had no reason to really unlock the bedroom door. But you walk in and this room seems bigger than it should be for a tiny building. There's just as soon as you walk in, you're already greeted with like smells of like perfumes and like incense. Your eyes immediately notice this like double-sided bed that's clearly made, it looks like it's meant for 2 people, but you probably get the feeling that Dale just wanted that extra space. It's got the like curtains and the drapery on the side. It's like this light reddish colored covers, and there's even like a little mint on the pillow, as if somebody were waiting for him to come home. Next to it is this pretty nice looking dresser. Probably has some clothes in it. Has all sorts of very elegant carvings in it and filigree and all that. And there's like a little table next to the desk. Not next to the desk. There's a little desk next to the bed that looks like it might have a couple of drawers in it and like a little stool. There's an ink and quill sitting atop it, and a very faint flicker of light emanating from a small glass orb, kind of on a little rack just above it, probably meant for writing. The ink and quill. There is very lush and very beautiful looking carpet with shapes and symbols that shouldn't really make sense as individual pieces, but put together, it's a masterpiece. And this kind of sits a little bit next to the bed, just a nice little carpet that you might walk in on. And when you look at it, it looks like this stuff, whatever this is made out of, is probably, you know what, let me ask, is anybody not wearing shoes?
Now that you mention it, I would definitely think that Dilly and Dash, like neither one of them would probably be wearing shoes. Like they were in a bad way. Everybody's malnourished. Their clothes have been ripped and torn, and that's why my instincts were like, we got to go to this wardrobe, get everybody some outfits. I got 13 babies I got to clothe and feed. All right.
All right. So they, as soon as they step on this carpet, so you know that episode of Rick and Morty where Rick does the perfection of perfect level surface, and Morty like steps on it and just like practically falls over and orgasms on it. That's kind of what they do. This carpet is so comfortable, like that you can see their little like toesies, like playing, the cloth between their feet, and they practically just like fall over on it and just like, oh, this is the best ever. Like
Hey, you know the rules. You better roll that bad boy up and share it with the rest of the crew.
Yes, Captain.
What's
it's
our number
so
one rule?
soft.
ELE. Everyone love everyone. You bring that rug back to the crew.
But it's so soft. Okay. They're having a heart. Like you could definitely see that there's almost this this moral quandary between listening to their superior and the fact that they are on something that is almost beyond their comprehension. But they listen in the long run.
So I guess you're just gonna take that in front of the rest of us.
Yeah. They're gonna take it.
Yeah, they need a party rug.
Yeah.
Did anyone have dibs on that?
Dibs.
Well, too late.
Yeah,
Called
I
it,
think
I
we
guess.
should check it out. I think we should all check it out and see what it does, if it's dangerous. Things
We're
like
just
that.
we're making a
That it
hoard
was-
pile.
Arbitrarily take whatever you want and then hoard it amongst yourselves.
Yeah, amongst ourselves, plural. We all share. You're welcome to be part of that sharing. If you find something you like, you just say, "Hey, this is what I like." We're just here to haul. We're here to move pieces from one room to another, study things, get organized, list things, and say, "Hey, this is how many potions we found. This is a very special axe that so and so wanted. Rations and water, that kind of stuff."
While Max is giving that bullshit line, Cha's going to
It's
cast
the truth.
detect thoughts and start to try to pick up the thought patterns of Max and his crew.
Oh. How deep do you probe?
So if you want to throw that in the chat, so
Yeah, let me just put that in there. This is going to be, we're just going to see where this goes. Detect thoughts. Cast.
That's a
Okay.
humongous
so-
description.
I know, right? I can read the thoughts of certain creatures. I can focus my mind on any one creature that I can see within 30 feet.
I have to do a
So
wisdom
he's got
saving throw
his,
for you to probe.
he's got a, yeah, one sec here. So let me see what the duration is. Is it 1 minute? 1 hour. 1 minute. Okay, so I've got 1 minute. I will start with just the general thoughts of Max's companions, and then end on Max. So first, I just want to pick up their general thoughts really quickly, just a couple of seconds, a few seconds, like of the companions, and then concentrate all my attention on Max. So to learn their surface thoughts, what is most on their mind at the moment.
loot.
Okay, so loot. Is there any sense of trickery? Like they're gonna keep this from us? Anything like that?
That would be delving
Intention,
deeper in a
basically.
wisdom save.
Okay, so he is going to dive deeper into Max, try to understand what is actually going on inside of Max. And this does involve a throw. So the creature
I gotta get a
must make a
12
wisdom
wisdom.
saving throw. And his spell save DC is 12, yes. Which you might totally beat it, so whatever.
Ooh.
Boom! Fail. So
How
Cha
deep do you
wants
want to go?
to he wants to go as deep as you get.
All right, we'll do this in layers. We're gonna peel it back like an onion.
Let's
All
peel
right.
this onion. We're gonna cook this onion, peel it up, chop it out. Let's do it.
All right, on my forethoughts, I do not trust you. I don't trust your group. I am sickened by what happened last night before we went to bed. However, a little bit beneath that, I share an intimacy with the crew that wasn't bullshit. The everyone love everyone. We are kind of a touchy-feely kind of crew, but only towards one another. Outwardly, we want to appear vicious and vile, and people to be like, Jesus, why would they do these things? You know what I mean? We want to be that level of like, that's how we infiltrate, right? But on the inside, we're tucking each other in, right? We're giving positive affirmations. We are celebrating each other's, strengths and like it's very fun and almost family oriented. And then when you probe a little deeper than that, and that's because this is a brand new crew. This crew's only been together for about 2 months, and they've been selling like the Astral Sea, right? So there's this. We're still new. We're still forming these bonds, and that's how we did it because we didn't really know one another. And there is a fear underneath even that layer of, am I doing this right? Is this what Bolton would have done if he were me? What if they find out about me? What if they know my real past? Would they still share this intimacy, or would they be more ruthless with me? Would they want to like kick me out? Would they cut me open? What would they do? Would they take over? I think that's about as deep as it gets.
So more things about that. So who are you?
Mm.
And you don't have to
You,
say this in front of everybody
yeah, no,
else.
but no,
I would
a
know
sense
that. I
of
would know their
self.
emotional. I would know your emotional state. Something that looms large on your mind, which is perfect. That's it. Such if you worry or love or hate. I would think I would want to know if I learn your gender and that you've been lying about all that, despite all your.
I think,
Uh,
yeah, I think you would pick up femininity and that I don't present as male. I'm not like a trans person. I'm not in
right.
drag. This is masquerading. This is a charlatan with an
Would I
alternative
learn that you're also
personality.
doing that with your crew? Like you've
Yes.
also.
Yeah, that's where the fear came
Okay.
from. That the fear, like I don't
Yes.
care if you
I
find out. It's
see.
like I don't want them to find out because I'm afraid of what they would do if they found out that I'm not this person at all and I'm just pretending
And
to
you're
be.
pretending to be another person, so I would learn that.
Mhm. And
And
like
then
I
so
guess we always
yeah.
have a strong sense of self, right? So no matter how many lies I tell or how many names I change, I have an actual identity that I address myself as mentally, right? And that would be
Okay.
Lola.
Lola.
Lola Zuko.
Nice.
And in the
Lola's
very deepest corner of
Zuko.
emotional territory, there
Yeah.
is like this longing. There's this idea that I'm doing it all for her, but the her is like very like uncertain. Like there's no name there, right? It's just like everything I'm doing is because I'm looking for something.
Looking for someone. And the someone doesn't have a name or
He does. Uh, I wanna give you the
you
whole.
can DM it to me too if you don't want to share.
No, they won't metagame on it. Uh, it's you get kind of the image a little bit of a female astral elf that has like the dark skin with like the stars in it and stuff, right?
Hmm.
Um, and the name Rim, REM.
Okay. And would I get a sense that you're some kind of a shape changer or because we saw you
No,
turn into a cat creature for an instant.
nope. I'm
So would
human.
that none of that would so that whole cat thing that there wouldn't be any of that. in your mind
Uh,
what that
yeah, I don't.
was?
That wouldn't be on my mind. You could probably do an Arcana check for the DM if you
Okay.
understood magic.
Gotcha. Cha does have magical abilities. Okay. So Rim, so in the intimacy of the crew, that's good. You've been together only 2 months. Fulton, what would Fulton do? So you're pretending to be Fulton.
Mhm.
I know you're a woman. Also, that you're fooling your crew, your real name. You're longing that you're doing all and doing everything, like all that you're doing is for this Rim.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
she's an astral
Beautiful.
elf, and I'm selling the astral sea,
Yes, correct.
and I get to captain it wherever I want to take it, which is hopefully where she would be.
Yeah. And then so he would put that together. There's this astral elf. I mean, if he knows what an astral elf is, I don't know if he would,
Mm-mm.
but he knows astral sea. He has studied the planes before in his training. Okay, cool. Bing bang boom. And afterward, you know that I peered into your mind. So Cha watches as your people take the carpet out. He's looking at you quite intently for a minute and just smiles and winks. And then looks back over at Niavara and says, "Shall we check the maybe that desk right there, Niavara? See if there's anything in there?"
Oh, well, certainly. And she was a little bit like confused as to what was going on. Like you could see it a little bit on the like the furrow of her face because she has no idea what you were doing.
Oh, it got awkward for a second. He was looking right at
Quiet.
Max without moving. Like,
And like
where is
Max,
the
this
what
whole
are
time
the
is
components here? What are the
he would be in like
components?
contemplation and like still searching, but almost like slowly, like absent-mindedly fiddling with things while the probing's kind of going on. I wouldn't be aware until after the fact, right?
Correct. So yeah, Cha's just kind of gazing. He's doing, and he's got the whole thing going on. He's muttering infernal under his breath.
Ooh.
He's moving his hands and fingers about, and in a gesture, like he's definitely casting a spell. Whoever knows that, and then it's done, and you know.
Hey, aphrodisiac. I'm gonna look at Niavara.
And she's like, that's not even close.
I'm very sorry. You remember I was tied up and like neglected, and I just can't remember. Would you
Well, your
go
head.
help my friends with that carpet? They seem to be very, very attached to it, and I'm worried that it might be like a magical item, and maybe you could, make sure that they're not possessed and fighting each other over it or something.
And she raises her eyebrow a little bit like, whatever's the matter? Because she does speak infernal. So if she could have heard any of the words like Cha, like to understand that he was casting a spell. She doesn't know what he
Oh,
casted.
I don't think Cha did anything to hide that he was casting the spell. Like Niavara would have seen it, and he would have known that he's done with it now, and is kind of smiling.
And Niavara is like, if you have something to say to Cha, I think that you might be able to say it to me as well.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment, Max.
Max is not showing this snarl that she really wants to rip loose right now. I was just doing that for my own. Like, am I gonna like? How much do I want to display?
Sure.
I'd really rather speak to Cha alone.
Hey, Max remembered my name.
I did, buddy.
And she sits down on the bed, like crosses her legs, like, look. Thing is, I don't really feel inclined to leave you alone with him.
You don't have to, but I'd appreciate it if you did. That's
But we
as
can have a
sincere as I
little
get.
discussion. We can have a little discussion after we finish turning this room. How about that? Car goes back to checking out that little desk.
No, I'm gonna draw my rapier. I'm not gonna finish the this.
Shit.
You could stay. It's
Here's
fine.
that. Here's that.
Niavara
Stops.
takes out her knives.
Pulls out his staff. Turns around slowly. Stares at Max.
And by the way, out of character, I'm not attacking. I'm not gonna try to PvP them. I just want it's drama.
Sure,
this is
drama
good
back.
stuff, man. This is good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, just for the I know people don't like PvP, so I don't want to seem like I'm pushing that. I'm not.
I don't mind the PvP, but I do know that Cube did talk about that he didn't really want PvP, which is totally understandable. That could get out of hand, maybe.
I'm gonna like narrow my eyes into slits, and maybe for like the first time, with the exception maybe being the Dell fight, you can kind of see there's this other, it's a non-goofy, non-lying kind of. This is how they survive in that kind of arena in the astral sea that you've kind of probed into, right? Where she is just completely pissed off but entirely focused, right?
Sure.
And she's gonna say, "What the hell were you doing inside my head?"
I could ask you the same thing.
I send messages. That's all. Then she's doing the
Well,
thing
it's-
where like her lips are like twitching right now. She's trying to not be like just snarling, screaming right now. Like it's visibly shaking.
Well, it's tit for tat, Max. I just wanted to know a little bit about who you really are. Is that so bad?
It is bad. It's complete invasion of privacy.
Mhm. Yes, it is, isn't it?
I did what I did to you
Really?
to save you. Are you so stupid you don't see that?
Oh.
You were out in the snow drooling on yourself, and I cared enough about you to protect you from that stupid fucking dragon.
Like we got the rise up to Max.
Niavara is sort of like tilting her head side to side, and she's also significantly dropped her affect, and you can sort of see like blank faced, like sizing you up as an opponent. It's very clear that she doesn't necessarily know what's going on. However, between the pair of you, she's putting her weight behind Chaw.
Chaw's steadily getting into a martial arts position and just ready, waiting. His tail's twitching a little bit behind him, waiting for a movement.
The way I see it, and I do see things quite well, is that you're putting on a little bit of a show around your crew. So I think that Chaw's merely trying to find out how much of an asshole you really are.
That's ironic, isn't it?
For myself.
Ironic
Try
how?
to
The most
ask it
despicable
from
thing you could have done. Like,
Try to
besides last
cast it
night,
from
do we want to
me.
talk about that? That's
Sure,
Well-
talk, Max. You're good at it.
yeah. Let's talk. I would never feed you to a town full of fucking mimics. That's
Well, I
disgusting.
didn't do that. I didn't want to do that, so don't blame me for that.
You came out as a like with your pitchforks as a group and brought that man outside.
That's not true.
Well, actually,
You
what
didn't
happened
pass
is
me
that
by. That didn't happen. Your whole group
Raoul-
didn't parade by us with Dale and send him
Can I-
outside.
Can I hear
you-
this from the other room?
Give me a perception on
Mhm.
account of you not being exhausted anymore.
How? So I guess
Nope.
this might be a
Wouldn't matter.
good time as any.
No.
To that point, how far away are each of these sections of this house? I was initially going to ask how far the kitchen was from the living room, but now I'm curious how far this bedroom is from the living room as well.
Probably like 10, 15 feet, give or take.
closed, though, I'm imagining.
Well,
Yeah, they're all
they
close.
walked out with a carpet. So the door could be open there. just walked out with a carpet. We weren't really getting privacy or anything.
I mean, you
Thank you for,
guys
like,
aren't exactly yelling either. Commotion hasn't really happened per se. I mean, weapons are drawn, but
Right.
I'm gonna say based on the drawing of weapons, and I'm gonna leave this up to Cubed. I'm not gonna roll for it.
Hmm.
Do we hear that specifically?
not from 10, 15 feet away.
Okay.
You know, obscured by like because the hallways aren't super
We're
crazy,
also
so a lot of the
simultaneously
sound
searching
gets
for stuff.
yeah, and the sound of you guys
okay.
rummaging through things and sound kind of getting you're further away, so it's hard to hear things. It's a few things, and they're in a room, so
and there's noise, like everyone's moving stuff.
Right. The two crew just kind of like they're I'm sure like walking past us with this huge rug.
Playing devil's advocate, the door would be open because they exited with the carpet, and being a pirate, you would be used to detecting the sound of like people coming aboard the ship or drawing weapons or like cocking back
Sure,
like
yeah.
a trigger for a gun.
Yeah, that's why I was asking
Just thoughts.
if we might have heard it. I like the RP that's going on, so
Yeah, I
I'll
wanted to interrupt or anything.
just for the sake of it though, just letting the dice.
Well, we would have a minute or so before anybody ran in there. If anybody hears.
I was gonna
there.
kick something anyway eventually.
There we go.
So to continue, Shaw just kind of tilts his head a little bit.
Will
Let me tell
actually.
you something about myself, Max. Just a little
Mhm.
bit. I know you're pissed right now, and you're
Very.
lashing out. I'm used to people being disgusted by my presence, so it doesn't bother me that you're disgusted. But what I saw back there, what you did to that little dragon's home, the glee in your eyes when you did it.
speak up.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I can hear you.
When I saw that, the first thought I had in my head was, wow, the longer I know Max, the more he reminds me of my mother. Then I started to think, maybe you're a creature of the hells yourself, or you've sold your own soul for power and wealth. But I had to know, and now I know. Because I'm not going to travel with an enemy. Now I know what you are. So that's it. What is your response? Going to strike? Or are you going to
Sorry,
deal
I'm
with the
just
fact that someone knows what you're about?
and she takes a minute and just stares at you and then back to Niavara as if things might work out differently if Niavara had not been here. And she's calculating the risks. In her mind, it's like technically 14 against 5, right? However, her crew is certain. Maybe you even have, since it lasts a minute, a little. Well, no, maybe there's a little linger there, maybe from the surface level, right? That like one of the major decisions here is that she doesn't want to risk her crew going through anything worse than what they've already been through. Even if on the outside she'll say that she's like, I don't care if they die, whatever, right? Internally,
And
no,
Shaw
that's
would know
always
that.
something she's weighing. Yeah,
And Shaw would know that now.
yeah.
Like, so I think with all the facial expressions, like they're also having a dance of facial expressions
Mm-hmm.
where Cha is like raising his eyebrows at the moment and just kind of nodding a little bit. Like he's totally in there. He gets it. And he's just like nodding. And his eyes aren't evil at that point. He's just like opening them wide, almost like a teacher teaching a student and being like, yes. He's watching it all. He's not trying to torture or torment. He's just sending a message.
So you're angry at me for catching a ship on fire? But the dragon, which this is like
Look, I get it.
just so
I get that you don't know what you did, and I get that you don't care. Get that? It's okay. I'm used to that. Is what I'm
there was
trying
a
to tell you.
danger that wouldn't reveal itself in the dark, a sentient danger. I made 3 requests for it to come out. It did not. It could have killed any one of you. So I
Make your
started knocking
excuses,
over
all your
lanterns.
excuses.
This isn't an excuse. This is
I
what
saw
fucking
the
happened. You
glee.
just weren't there.
I saw
were
the
not on the
glee in your
inside.
eyes. I saw the glee. What you did. That's all that matters. I've seen that look before many times.
You'd say your DM.
And if you don't get it, you don't get it. That's okay.
I mean,
But I'm watching.
he doesn't get it, and Niavara is twisting her knives over in her hands. He's a
Mm.
captain, not a tool. He doesn't know what it is to be in the place where you don't have a choice.
Mm.
Now, see, I'm a tool. I've been a tool for a very long time, and I'm very good at compartmentalizing it. And what you're saying that it was wrong for us to do what we did to Dale? Well, number one, it wasn't Shaw's decision. It was Raoul's. Raoul was tired. I do believe that something's up with Raoul. But, again, not my business. We found him in
sure.
the Feywild without any memory. With several violent urges. Now, I don't disagree with him on account of the fact that I can only think about how many people like me, people who are tools, were trapped here and forced to eat others. At Dale's whims. And she sort of pets the bed as she's like, do you think that this belonged to someone else? Someone who probably would have liked to live, someone who was probably eaten just like Dale was. I can't feel bad for Dale, knowing what he's done to people. Knowing that he allowed others to be tools for him. And sure,
I'm not convinced that you know Dell at all. I don't. All we know is that he was possessed.
I
He
didn't
did
either.
terrible things under that possession. We
I
could have
just
made an
want to
informed decision if we
just-
would have just waited.
I agree with that.
see, on the
I
one hand,
understand Niavara's perspective too, though. But that was my original intention.
Yeah, stop trying to
Raoul.
relate to me.
and she's like, I don't relate to you, and I don't relate to Dale. I do relate to all those poor mimics, and all I heard was Kozik being a fucking right asshole saying that we don't have sentience.
Hmm.
Who doesn't have sentience?
The mimics.
Why'd she say we? Are you a mimic?
Cha looks at Niavara.
And she's like, I'm not a mimic. Mimics are a very specific type of creature.
Insight check.
I mean, she's not. She's telling the truth.
Yeah, she's still. Yeah.
Are you telling yeah, but are you doing one of those things where on a technicality? All right.
No. She's
Hmm.
Well, if
a
you
mimic
rolled
is
on
in
that
fact
and
a very
you
specific
beat it,
creature.
yeah, if you rolled on
This
it,
is
and
an a
beat it,
lie
you would-
detector check. All right. This
Yeah.
is a. I
You
want
can
to
tell
roll
This-
she
body
definitely
language.
meant to say we, and she's definitely insulted at the idea that mimics aren't people. And she's definitely correlating herself as a mimic, but not. She's like
That's
not
fair.
lying either. She's not a mimic.
And Cha would look back
Let's see
and be
how
like,
much of that Max can pick apart, though.
Niavara and I are used to being prejudiced against. Is the
All
point?
right. Yeah. Well. Okay.
Yeah. So, as the player, we know this, but now as the character, they also kind of get that similar feel. We, in a overarching sense, not we as in I am this specific thing, but we as these. Yeah, I relate to these people. We share a common situation.
Anyway, we can pull apart one another's actions we don't like. I just had to know whether you are a devil or not. And now I know. That's it.
I
So
will
it's your
say,
move.
a little bit gross to be in someone else's mind. However, that's on both of your parts. I don't use mental magic for a reason. And she'll look at Shaw. Like, you haven't
I
done that to any of
understand.
us, have you?
No, I have not. I promise. And you would know if I did, just like he knows. And he emphasizes the he.
So,
No, I have not, and I would normally not, but I need to know if my traveling companions are truly monsters that are beyond redemption or not. And the jury's out as far as Raul goes. I really don't know. He's been acting really crazy.
it's funny that you mentioned
It's a
Raul
little scary.
as you hear the clitter clatter of talons walking through the hallway, very weighted, probably weighted down by meat. Raul, there was something you wanted to. At this point, like Raul's just standing in the doorway, and everybody has like weapons drawn. Go ahead, Raul.
Charles gonna very quickly is gonna be like, yeah, so that is where I carved this staff, and that's what kind of wood it was made out, and he's gonna slip it back into its into the area in his pack, and just kind of get back to
Neavara
sleep.
metaphorically puts her face back on as she smiles and like returns to that sort of snide look as she's like, yeah. See, I thought it was a little bit crude at first as well. Like I could have done it with my knife. And she puts them back in her holster as well.
It's an ancient art form, Neopara. Come on.
What specifically did I find?
Well, in terms of like a.
What I'm gonna offer.
Let's see. Oh, in terms of what you like found in that room.
Yeah, pertaining directly to the message of what I was gonna offer.
I mean,
not necessarily for myself, but like
so you were checking out like
the
the
display cases and
yeah. I mean, there's
bookshelves and
plenty
stuff.
of like knickknacks and pretty nice looking things like jewelry and like rings and amulets and periaps and like bracelet, like just stuff, just kind of a lot of shiny things.
I gathered all that up in a bag, and so when I walk up to the door, I'll be like, you're all right.
Yeah, no problem. What you got there?
Hey Max.
Yeah.
This is for you, and I'm gonna just toss the big bag of jewelry and knickknacks and stuff over to Max. And be like, oh, I just wanted to make sure you and your cruise was gonna be able to get by. You know, I don't know if you're gonna keep coming with us or plan on going with him, but regardless, there's 14 of you. You're gonna have to recover somehow from this, and healing and potions and weaponry and armaments and safe passages is expensive.
Yeah. Thanks. I when we get back downstairs, we got a Blitz back there. He has a little blueprint. I told him to hold on for you.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. And Max, you did good back there, And I'm going to mention back towards the cave and be like, I thought I was on my own. And I started that dialogue there with Dale. And, I went into that room by myself. And I really thought I wasn't going to make it out of there. And I turned around and saw you guys. They're standing there having my back. And, regardless of what you guys think of me, it means a lot that you stood up for me. And I'm going to turn around and just walk out of the room like I didn't say anything important.
Oh, brutal.
The most heartfelt and awkward thanks that you've ever heard.
Wow, that was a classic.
Especially after Niavara and Shaw were both like, listen, technically speaking, even though Niavara was mostly in favor of it, Shaw didn't. And Shaw didn't care. Shaw wasn't a part of that. That was Raoul's choice.
Todd looks back at Max and is like, "Aren't you glad you helped him out now? Look at that. You feel the gratitude?"
Helped every one of you out. What are you talking about? And then you retaliated against
Oh.
me helping you.
Oh, deflect it all you want. What are you gonna do with that sword, Max? Huh?
I was
Right
thinking
back to
about
the
cutting your-
combat as soon as I leave.
I was thinking about ramming it through your guts.
Okay, give it a try. Let's play.
I mean, you saw what happened back in the cave. I didn't even get a scratch.
Neither did I.
Do I hear this as I'm walking out?
Yep.
I'm gonna turn around and be like, I got fucked up in there. Be thankful you didn't. Now put him away.
I'm gonna sheath my sword as soon as he says put it away. Yeah, lump me in the same boat as him. It's fine. That's where I want to be. I'm just gonna leave the room. They can have the loot. I'm gonna follow Raoul.
You said you are taking the loot and not taking the loot.
I'm gonna, as I say
No, I'm
that,
not taking no loot.
I'm gonna not turn
just
around
wants
or
out.
say anything. I'm just gonna put him away. Stop your fighting. Come on. Not having a fucking clue of what it's about.
Yep.
Niavara sort of raises her eyebrows at Shaw, like, mind magic?
Todd looks at her and just smiles. It has its uses.
I mean, yeah. Little invasive, though.
It's true. It was. It was. I made a calculated decision. I have to see. I think it is a good sign that he didn't actually ram the blade through my guts. That is
Oh.
a good sign.
If he had, I would not have let any of his crew leave this earthly realm.
Oh, Niavara, stop being so sweet.
And she snickers as she's like, no. You don't threaten people like that. And two, is the sort of performative resistance to it. Like, we already killed him once. Sure, that was gruesome. But, like, it. How many people did he actually do it to? Did he feed to those poor people?
Oh, I don't feel bad about Dale. I mean,
It's
I
gross.
did want him to face some kind of justice. Not that I'm the expert on justice or anything. The justice where I come from was
Worse
much
than
worse than anything I had thought.
Mhm.
But it's more like what Raul actually did. So I am kind of revolted by it.
Out of
And-
character,
and
I'm just shocked none of
uncertain.
you guys are mad at me yet.
Oh, Niavara was
well,
100% in favor of feeding him to the mimics. She's been in
Because
favor of that since day one.
Nobody said
Yeah,
a word to Raoul about
Chad just thought they should have the choice whether they would do it or not. Like, but Raul's like chaoticness has been rather disarming.
that
So it's
stealth
almost
roll
like,
that
what
I
is
rolled
going on?
was to do that, like really early in the conversation.
I saw that.
So while you ponder that, Kozik hanging out in the kitchen, this lovely, bright and vibrant and colorful kitchen full of like gold and silver, pots and pans and silverware, elegance galore.
Simulates Kozik's innocence.
Almost takes you back to your takes you back to the days of old when you were back home and you'd walk to the kitchens and, you know, obviously not dwarven craft. This is clearly not of that quality, but this is not bad. This is a not bad attempt to at perfection.
Yes, I'm kind of in my reverie of like, oh, things things can actually be nice and comfortable. And I'm remembering all the dwarven maids who would chase after me with a dwarven rolling pin saying, "Get out of the kitchen, young master," and all of that. But in the in the meanwhile, I'm looking kind of for I don't know, anything that looks like it's of nice make, like knives and stuff. And maybe I'm also looking in the bread basket to see if there's any food to be had.
I was also gonna say the reason I was asking for distance earlier. I was gonna, since Kozik's the kind of odd man out looking for stuff on his own, I was gonna cast Mage Hand in hopes that that could potentially assist him in any way, shape, or form, and send it on with him.
Well, Mage Hand, you have to have line of sight to it still. There's another spell that does something akin to that, but that is not the spell you have.
Do I have to roll anything, or is this just
yeah, so perception.
Okay. Not terrible.
Yeah, it's not bad. So you go through the drawers and looking for food, and oh yeah, there's definitely some nice, some nice loaves of bread, probably made yesterday, or I should say, very, very recently acquired, in quotation marks. There'd be some like ales, some alcohols. Adventurers do love their alcohol.
I'm interested in that, yeah.
So basically, you'd find a good couple days worth of rations.
Okay, cool.
amongst different types of foods and like breads and beverages and etc.
Things in jars, little dried fishes and whatnots.
Yeah, some jerky.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean that's what you were looking for. Yep.
There's no like special any special like utensils that catch my eye or anything like that?
Nope, not really.
All right, it just all looks nice.
Yep, just looks nice
like
and
it's good quality stuff.
Oh yeah, good craftsmanship for a non-dwarf. You know what? Give me. I'll make you use a roll for it. There's a dwarven fork in there. How about that? Boom, dwarven crafted fork. A singular fork.
I pull it out of the drawer and it's like
Sure.
like finding a I don't know, like a pearl amongst whatever you don't find pearls amongst. I don't know. I can't think of the metaphor here, but I see this fork and I pick it up. I'm like, wow, this is something special. I'll take it with me.
Yep,
right.
Yep. Because I'd imagine at least one dwarf probably would have gotten eaten at some point. Sure, have a fork. There you go. You have a nice dwarven fork. The only thing I ever wanted in an adventure.
I'm adding it to my mess kit here so I can eat properly.
Okay, so Zed was looking around in the... Where is it? Where are you looking at? Because otherwise I'm going to try and dig through a bajillion notes I have.
In the living room.
Living room, right. So you can give me a perception as you're kind of going through all this stuff. Raul's finding he's going through the cases specifically, getting like jewelry and amulets and, the shiny bits that are just easy to spot. With a 12... I mean, there are those tapestries. I mean, they look kind of nice. I mean, you've seen them before. Some vases. Some of them pots. But you probably imagine they'd be a little annoying to carry around everywhere.
Yeah. Is there
On
anything
the
inside
couch,
the-
there's a couple of really nice pillows. I mean, you guys do hoof it a lot. Maybe have a luxury pillow.
How big
but-
are they?
Just normal size pillow.
I'll
like
grab
the kind of pillow that if you go on like a plane, it's one of those kind of pillows, like a small one. Something to rest your head on, as opposed to doing a full night's rest kind of thing. It's something nice, there's a few nice things in here, but with the 12,
All right.
All right. So at this point, you see Raul and Max Fletcher. Got so used to saying Max. Raul and Fletch coming out down the hallway.
Oh, I gotta change my Discord name.
And yeah, pretty much you guys can interact, convene, figure out a plan, figure out what happened to Dale. I mean, nobody's really come and knocked on the door or anything.
Mm,
Well, Niavara is going to actually want to look around because she wants to actually try and find some stuff. She's specifically looking for sentimental items that she can like potentially bury outside. Things that represent the spirits of those that were killed for all this treasure.
Yep, there's well, give me a perception. Let's start with that.
Cha will help out with whatever she wants to look for as well.
Then rolled again.
Oh, fuck me.
Well, 13. It was with advantage, but yeah.
No, it's okay.
So 13. I mean, you'd find other people's stuff, like things that look like they probably wouldn't really fit Dale's quote unquote style. Like there's some dresses, some clothing, some like nice traveler's clothes, maybe a merchant vest or two. I mean, knowing Dale, he never
merkin?
would have touched anything mercantile.
Another
You check through the drawers and find some knickknacks here and there, like maybe some identification of some people, varying degrees of people, many people, a lot of holy shit.
No, they kept the identification. Crazy.
Serial killer shit.
Yeah, that's gnarly.
Niavara is like, even though he might not have necessarily wanted all of it, like some part of this is his fault. Serial killer shit.
Gosh, what was that entity that took him over? This is very common. Trophies, where I come from.
I mean, there's also a lot of buttons.
Oh, fuck. See, the thing is that she's not going to take it from any of the dead people's clothes. She will take it from his stuff, though. Like, one of the tunics that she saw him wear, she's going to steal button from.
Okay. 1X Dale button.
However, she's actually going to tell Cha, like, I actually think that the most proper thing to do would be to burn this stuff, bury it. Otherwise, give a funeral to these people that got otherwise no send off from the
I
surface.
think that's a great idea. Funeral. It's a good idea. Maybe we could do that with the townsfolk as a way to, I don't know. Maybe that would be too traumatizing since they ate all of them themselves. But
That's-
I don't think
Yeah, I think that's
I don't
the
think
problem.
the townsfolk care at all.
I like how you're saying that from a totally different
care. Like the people that helped us could have eaten us, but they didn't.
They're great.
It's
They're great
it
ones.
seems that they care. They care. They wanted to make a connection with the people of other cities. They wanted to try to connect with other towns, not just eat people. They were pushed to that by the devil.
Well, speaking of buttons and speaking of eating people,
And speaking of the
Kozik wants
devil,
to actually open the door and see if there's any evidence of this gore left over. Because also my clothes were torn apart that I had lent to to Dale.
Oh,
So
L.
Right, that's right. And those were your fine dwarven clothing.
if I can find a button, I'll give it to Niavara.
so
Dwarvish.
I'd say you could figure out how to disassemble or deactivate Raul's device.
You just turn the crank and it opens
Yeah.
up.
So the
Oh.
door, so you know the door swings open slowly as you're probably just like peeking first, and instead of just kicking the door open, or you kicking the door open and be like, "Hello, world."
I'm opening it like a normal person, like an unparanoid person.
All right. So, and it's actually kind of funny that you're the one that sees this as a noble. So as the door swings open, first it's a blinding light outside, right? Because you've been sleeping in for a good bit, and you had no window, so you have no idea how long you really slept in. You kind of have a general feel for how long you slept in, and you didn't have no idea how late you were up. But your eyes take a moment, maybe a little bit longer to adjust than normal, as being so used to the underground. But you've been above ground long enough. And outside, there are dozens of people with their heads bowed.
Oh no! Wow.
Uh,
And it makes you think back to the times when you and the noble house of yours would greet servants, and they would bow to you, recognizing your authority. But none of them speak. They just kind of hang their heads. They're in a bowing stance, like an anime or something.
Wow.
all right. Do they look like they're expecting something?
Nope.
No.
I mean, you can
Well,
give me an insight.
I don't. I mean,
Speech.
right? It would be presumptuous of me just to start speechifying at them. Insight.
Oh yeah, they are bowing their heads, grateful, and without words. The fact that they don't say anything is almost speaking louder than any gesture that they can make in the action that they are currently executing in front of you.
Well, I feel the need to say something, so I kind of raise my voice and say, people of people of this town, I don't know what the town's called. People of this town, the mayor is no more, and you're free to pursue your own lives.
And as you say that, give me a performance check. Let's see how good. Like, it's already good, but let's see how over the top good this is.
How noble can he make it?
Just
Oh,
I just picture
geez, Louise.
Christopher
All
Walken.
right.
So
A
perfect
Maya.
that it's you right now. You
It's
were
no
so
more.
judgmental about these
No
things, and now
more.
you're the one who's giving them the noble speech.
I gotta do what I've gotta do.
Classic.
So
Are you standing in the bloodstains of Dale in like the bits of goo and gore while you do
I
this?
may
there's-
be. I guess I just envisioned I opened the door and stepped out and saw this scene.
So the TLDR, the only thing left of Dale is the blood stain. There's no other organic material of him left. Um,
Oh.
so after you have that speech, this tiny little girl with like this long, like unusually like wispy white hair, but it looks somewhat natural, just really white. And this little girl, it looks like a human girl, just runs up to you and hugs your leg, and she's just bawling, she's crying, and she's just going, thank you, thank you. Like those are the only words that she could even muster.
Well, Kozik is not unmoved by this, and he does put a gloved hand, kind of pats her on the head, says, well, we'll see what the future holds for you and your people.
And can I hear this from inside?
Oh, you can hear it, you can see it. Like he said, he was raising his voice, so basically anybody not in like the bedroom or the kitchen could hear all this
I'm
going
gonna lean
on.
over to Zed and nudge him on the shoulder and be like, "This fucking guy didn't even help us fight him."
Can
Love it.
Evar make a perception check to like see if she tries to hear it?
Zed's just gonna lean back in and be like, he's honestly, he's the perfect leader.
I fucking guess, right? Well, I guess we could scapegoat him if we need to.
Yeah, Niavar hears the hell out of that.
She does
Even
come out.
even the conversation between Zed and Raul with the 26.
Nivara heads
follows
out of
her
the
out there,
bedroom,
too.
sort of like disbelieving.
That's
Who's
really
the kid?
happening?
He's Zed'll reach out and kind of just put his finger to his lips, and he's like, hold on, it's promise, it's probably about to get very good.
It's just ramping up.
We're all congregating behind him, arms crossed, just watching.
We're just our heads are just kind of peering out of the door frame.
Max, get in here with your crew. This is gonna be good.
I say, well, ultimately, you have these fine companions behind me to thank for the end of the mayor, I guess. And I pull off the weird teddy bear or whatever that I've been hanging on to,
Oh no.
and I kind of hold it and I look at it, and I'm like,
And it stares back at you with its lifeless, beady little eyes. You kind of lose yourself into it for a moment, but you shake your head. It's just like, wow, this is.
Kozik, you're in the middle of a speech, mate.
right, and do I have any weird feelings about this little bear, ultimately, or
Doesn't care about the people, it's just the bear.
I mean, there's what are you talking about? There's nothing to suspect about this adorable little, cute little bear.
well, then I give it down to the young girl. I say, here's a gift to commemorate this day of liberation.
Oh, you are so full of shit.
So-
Nivara is muttering to
Wow.
herself in Infernal.
So
What's he doing?
the little girl
He
just kind of.
end worlds.
So the girl actually refuses. I couldn't take anything from you. We've taken so much.
Well, are you sure? Are you sure, young one? I'm giving it to you.
Do I hear that too?
Yeah, you see it. You see all
And
this
I-
happening in the doorway.
And I know Max didn't take the bag that I threw to him.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go get it and just open it. And like, as I'm swinging it through the air, cut it open and sling it out into the crowd.
Oh my god. Really, Raul? Chaos.
What?
Great.
And then as I do that, I'm going to look at Kozik and in comment, sarcastically, and be like, oh, well met, King of the Mountain.
As we're showered in the gold and jewels that are flying out
Mhm.
above us into the crowd.
Wait, what did you say in Goblin? I missed it.
In common,
Oh, I think
I I said to Kozik, semi-sarcastically, and I pat him on the shoulder. I'm like, "Well met, King of the Mountain."
And I look back at him and I say, "Today it's their day."
It's like, all right, roll an attack
Nice.
roll for the entire town as you just hit them with all these jewels and
That's like I fling gold at the town.
My eye.
They have lots of them. They're mimics. I mean, some people pick them up and just kind of look at each other like, when,
Is
and as people are picking these things up, you see a familiar figure, the shopkeep. It would seem you have rid us of quite the annoyance. Oh. And as he says that, he actually catches himself by surprise. Like he didn't expect that he would actually be able to say that.
Like, sorry for trying to kill you earlier, buddy.
The feeling's mutual.
I'm gonna
He was-
continue. Go back in and investigate the rest of the house.
Niavara will step forward like he was a stain on this earth.
And I realize that I'm
Oh.
still just kind of holding the bear, and the girl didn't take it. So I shrug and I put it back on my my front there.
What are you going to do now? We may give you some riches that you can start trade with other towns, like you said, and you'll have plenty to eat.
We don't have to eat much at all. A single meal would last us days, weeks.
Oh, so he was really starving you. Okay. Well, you talked about wanting to create trade lines with other towns and stuff, right?
Yes, we wanted to open trade with others, but I fear at this point our reputation has long since been tarnished.
Hmm.
Niavara
There were
makes
a
the
lot of
noise.
people who went missing here, I guess.
I'd suppose if we were to acquire some kind of reputation, perhaps telling others what transpired here.
You got any craftsmen, master quality craftsmen, or somebody pretty good, verbally somebody great?
Hmm.
We got this big old thing of leather, and if you look, and I'm going to point down at my chest and my leather, I'm gonna be like, this one's a bit messed up. You can do something about that. I'll make sure I tell everybody the best craftsmen I've ever met are here. Send them your way.
I'm certain among us are some who could. And he just kind of holds a hand out. You know, almost expecting you to give him something.
What do you want? Money? You want the leather? What are you asking for?
The items in question.
Oh, I'm gonna just hand him the 80-pound bag of leather. There it is.
He holds it in one hand without any strain.
Take off my leather armor and be like, here's the rest of it.
Nice.
As you're,
Um,
I mean, as you think back to it, he's a mimic that's effectively an entire building. So
he's pretty big, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the way I see it, you got a reputation, and the best way to fix that reputation is give people a reason to come here, right? If they know you're the best craftsman in the entire lands, in my opinion, gives them a reason to come here. The other city's going to need armaments and stuff like that. And if you can prove yourself trustworthy and you can prove yourself quality, they'll come to you, and then teach them how to fish. You get it? I'm not just giving you money; I'm giving you skills, and I'm telling them people about your skills. Keep them coming back.
Forward
Well.
thinking, Raul.
Once upon a time, there was one of us. Well, so I was told. But they have been gone for quite some time. Something about
Continue regardless.
finding themselves a place to settle down in some small town.
Wait. What? Do you know the name of that town? Was it possibly Grenstal?
He shrugs.
Fuck.
All I know is that they went to find someplace else. Right before he arrived.
He said,
Hey?
"What the fuck's Grinstal?"
Oh, mate.
Oh.
Well, that was a town that we were all at before we got our first contract there. And oh, fuck, we actually never went and got paid for it, but they had a bar there that was called the Mimic.
Is that in the Fae?
No.
No.
Oh, right. I don't. Yeah, that's probably why I don't know what it is.
I asked.
You think,
I asked the creature. Well, it's possible we may come across this wayward member of your community. Do you have a keepsake or a message we should deliver to that person?
Tell him the tale of what happened here in Dale.
I'm gonna whisper to myself. I'll just tell every random stranger I meet then, because I don't know who I'm looking for.
not every random stranger, we'll tell it far and wide. We will share your story with all.
Well, I suppose we should be giving you some kind of reward, honestly. You don't know what it's like to have an eternal hunger.
Oh,
I
shucks,
wouldn't
a
wish
reward
that
for
upon
eating?
anybody. Seeing the faces of people being consumed against our own will. What was left outside was our final, well, hopefully, final sacrifice. And he waves a hand behind him, and the crowd kind of parts a little bit as you see this tiny little chest, like barely the size of your hand, but it's got like the very traditional mimic. It's got the teeth and like the 6 purple eyeballs and like the little arms on the side, and its big old purple tongue flailed out of it, and it just sits in front of you. Just turns into a normal chest.
Go for it, Kozik, our fearless leader. Open it up.
I bend down and I say, "Open sesame."
It opens its mouth, and it's just darkness inside.
Oh.
My heart
I
has
get
kind
to
of
see whether they're
softened.
trustworthy or not, Kozik.
Well, my heart has kind of softened at the speech of the townsman there, and maybe these guys are they are okay, and they are all on the level. So I ask, should I reach my hand in there?
It is yours. An unusual one, but a loyal one.
Wow. Well,
Oh.
I kind of stand up and scratch
So,
my head.
have you guys ever played like Don't Starve Together?
That's
And there's
exactly what I was
the little
thinking
box
of.
that it's basically a chester.
Okay.
It's essentially a sentient bag of holding.
Oh,
And
that's
I
awesome.
Wow.
I
Okay.
you know, I don't stick my hand near a feeding kobold, so I'm going to leave that to you.
Well, I kind of before I stand up straight as I can as a noble dwarf, and I give a salute in the direction of the people of the town. And maybe a little tear almost maybe wants to come to my eye. And then
And when you do that, there is a resounding cheer and applause.
I live for this shit.
Do we battle
Oh,
Kozik,
no.
or what do we do here?
Zed's just kind of finds himself clapping as well, and he's like, "Oh shit, all right."
Low clap. And then well, I pick up that our new party member under my arm, and I take it with us wherever we're going for the moment. Or does it walk around by itself?
It walks around on its own,
Oh, okay. Well, I give
but
it a
it's
nice little
super tiny,
pat
so
on the
it's
head.
like it's basically the size of a bag of holding, but it just kind of hangs on. It finds places.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll kind of pat it and put it on my gear there somewhere and say, "Welcome." I don't know if it understands me or not, but
Wait, should we see if there's anything inside?
there was only darkness. But
I
maybe you
could
want to
send my
reach.
mage hand in there and rummage around.
Intuition.
Go
Inside.
go ahead. See if it'll open up for you.
So you just say open up pretty much. Stick your hand in. So when you do so,
He's sticking his mage hand in there.
he's mage handing up in there.
I was just in trying to feel around to see if there's stuff that's already stored in there.
Oh, good
Realistically.
idea.
Let's see.
It's a bag of holding physics.
It
then
might not actually work.
It's a bag of holding. I can turn it
You have
into a
to think of-
bomb.
you have to think about it. You have to think about the item, but if you turn it inside out, everything will fall out. Not that any of us would know that necessarily, but
Pick it
30
up and
feet.
shake it.
You could tell it to cough it up or something like that. Give it a simple command. Maybe it would do that.
you want to turn it into the astral bomb.
We could. We can very much do that. In one more level, I
Oh.
can make bag of holdings. Or two more levels. Like
You want to turn it into an astral bomb.
Yeah. So the mage hand. Well, it does say no. I wouldn't say the mage hand would really work.
You got to roll up your sleeves, Mr. Thatcher.
Wait, should I spell again? Spectral.
All right. I guess I would just reach in then.
All right, you reach in, and it kind of feels like there's a lot of space in there, like air, just a lot of empty air, empty space. But, you're like, item, and then it's almost like something is brought to your hand as you think on, whatever could be in there. And, yeah, it kind of feels like a bag of coin. And it kind of feels like without you pulling it out, if you want to, you can. But it feels like a bag of coin and maybe like a a ring or something that's like holding it shut.
Okay. I'm gonna leave it in there, and I'm gonna look at everyone just fucking dead face and be like, "Hey, nothing."
Appropriate.
Yeah, well, there's just more space for us to put stuff in there then. That's
There's
good.
gonna be plenty of room in there. It just felt like a open cavity.
Let's not be vulgar, Mr. Thatcher.
No, I didn't. No, 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 no. Sorry. I sounded awful as I was saying it.
Hmm.
Belgian would approve.
So, as we're probably about to wrap up soon here, so what do y'all guys want to do? The townsfolk disband for the most part. Every so often, people come up to any one of you, and like shake your hand and offer thanks, and basically say you're welcome here anytime.
Is the one mimic that was almost the one that gave us the reward, I guess, that was kind of
Shopkeep.
leading? Are they still around?
I mean, not really, unless you want to stop them. They are shopkeep.
I intentionally wanted to mention something to him before they left. That was possible. Oh, that was the
Yeah.
shopkeep.
Yep, the one that did the talking was
Okay.
shopkeep.
I guess regardless of if it's in front of everyone or not, but I kind of wanted to lean in at some point and say, oh yeah, so you're gonna need a new leader here for this town. I'm not sure if that's gonna be you or maybe you know someone, but that as far as that reputation goes and building that camaraderie with potential other towns around and things like that, you're definitely gonna have someone that's guiding you in the right direction, unlike the last fella.
You'll figure that out in time.
Very well.
Do we hear this?
Possibly, yeah. I wasn't trying to. I was more or less keeping that from the rest of the town and not so much you guys.
I'll, not yell, but, speak plainly and be like, what about that slime guy? He seems to do well around here.
Licks.
Yeah, flicks.
He's lurking around somewhere.
Somewhere in a puddle. Somewhere in
Is
a.
that who you were referencing?
I really liked your joke about Dale being the last human sacrifice. That was a good one.
It was a messy one.
Well
Nearby
deserved
did say that
one.
he was a stain to the earth, and now he's quite literally a stain on the earth.
The rain can
If
take
his
care of
soul
that.
went back to the hells. Wonder if they got him in the end.
So what's and by the way, for Max, the crew did take the rug, and they came back and got the jewelry, and they are doing as you told them to share amongst themselves and share everything. So
Okay. Are their spirits lifted? Are they ready
Oh, yeah.
to move on?
so I would say their spirits were getting better. Like the party helped. Some of them were starting to wake up a little groggy, a little tired, a little hungover. But then the jewelry came in, and then that really nice carpet that they unfurled, and everybody just it was like cats being given catnip. They were just like laying on it and like rolling on it. It's like, oh my god, this is oh god, this is amazing. And to the point where there's like 13 of them, so they kind of have to take turns, but everybody got to go on that nice carpet. And and the spirits were definitely picking up, but it was really that that uplifting speech and the interaction that they kind of overheard and sort of kind of watched from the background a little bit of the interaction with Kozik and his offerings and his speech and the inspiring presence like that really, I mean, with that performance at 17, that really picked up a lot of spirits. And mind you, these people were like on the brink of death, and now they're just like having to. This is a good over the hump day. So maybe not directly spirits lifted, but through actions of the party. Overall, yes. It's probably the happiest you've ever seen him, honestly. But I'll let that thought mull over unless you want to do something about it.
Yeah, I'd like to address them, especially get it. I want to talk to Blitz and Amarant, maybe. Just about what our next step should be, because they're in terrible state. Like, you're not just gonna sleep this kind of stuff off, right? Like, we're looking like a month's recovery time, right? Like, they don't have a vessel anymore. They don't have a home. Like, their bodies are just like so malnourished and twisted and rotting, some of them, right? I got to kind of figure out what's best for them and where that would lead us. If the first mate has any ideas or suggestions.
I mean, and this is as he's like rolling around on the carpet. I mean, we could stay here. I mean, this is a really nice carpet. Oh man, just. Oh.
What do you mean?
You
To
just
interject
wanna-
there, Max? Town needs bodyguards. They seem capable.
I mean, didn't
you're
they
right.
say that they're trying to get some relations going? Maybe we can be envoys or something. I don't know. We travel a lot. I mean, in a town of these nice people, I'd imagine we'd be pretty safe here. We could just trade and maybe we can work up enough time and resources to get another boat out there, Captain.
You all might be able to run a sleigh of goods from this town to the next.
I mean, listen to them out there. Like they were practically like ready to I don't know, be servants or something. I don't know, but I mean, they're definitely grateful for whatever it is you guys did. I mean, we're grateful for everything that you got us out of there, Captain. You saved our lives.
Yeah, and I'd do it again too. Gonna smile at. Oh, and then I'm gonna look up at the stars, and be like, and you think they would like to just plant roots here or just stay here temporarily, or
I mean, you kind of have
how
to.
are we gonna get another ship?
That's exactly what I'm getting at. I mean, we got some of the broken bits up there, but that's not enough for a whole ship. I mean, we can keep.
Telling you earlier, there's a ship we were looking at that fell out of the sky. We can try to get there.
I mean, if it fell out of the sky, it's probably in no better condition than what we had to deal with.
Is the shopkeep still standing outside?
I mean, no, because Zed wanted to talk to him as he was leaving. So
I'm gonna go up to Kozik. Kozik, you do me a bit of a favor.
by the way, Kozik turns to you, and that teddy bear is staring you dead in the eyes because it's on his shoulder. Anywho, continue.
All right, Kozik, we quit being creepy, but you do me a bit of a favor.
Begrudgingly, I try to forget his rash actions of the other day, but he seems like he's kind of a different person now. So I begrudgingly say, yes. What is it? What can I do for you?
You know how you gave a speech and you was telling them all that you and us and all that, saved the day, right?
Yes.
Won't you go down and talk to the shopkeep and tell them it was these gents.
Oh, these crew members.
Yeah, tell the shopkeep it was them.
Think about it for a second. Say I will. It's a good idea. I'll do it.
Why? You don't know them.
Hey, Max, I don't gotta know people to know what it takes to survive, buddy. And I'm gonna turn around and sit down on the couch.
Yeah, that's a
He-
good idea. She's gonna kind of
He's
pace a
not
little
wrong,
bit.
though.
Not really a discussion for today, but Cha definitely wants to ask Raul about his rationale.
It's flipped quite a few times, hasn't it?
So, what I'm trying to figure out from the party is where do you want to go from here? Because there's still
I have
Zarth that you
no-
were heading to before and got sidetracked by this. I know there was mention of wanting to just get the fuck out of the Feywild entirely. There's the boat thing in the mountain that some people have mentioned, and kind of just give me an idea which direction y'all's want to go, so I
I
can
have
get
to, at
that
the
stuff
very
ready.
least, wait till my armor is repaired and or crafted new.
Yeah, but that particular thing can kind of be fast forwarded as well, if nothing else happens in between then.
Other than that, I'm down with anything. I don't care.
Niavara, you said you wanted to get the hell out. I heard you say that, but you want to check out that other town? Maybe there apparently are a whole group of Arakokra that might be your people, Raul, up in the mountains. And then there's the fallen ship. That was all we were checking out, where we can head out. We know the way.
Oh, my people's Alan.
Hi.
I guess you
Oh, you want
guys
to stay in
do.
the Feywild?
We've had quite a time together. I guess I consider you people as well. Yeah, I don't know if I need them or not. Been doing fine on my own for a long time.
You're getting quieter and quieter.
All right, turn to the side. You're like, oh yeah, I don't know if I need them. Been doing fine on my own for quite some time now. You know, we say hi. Some stones are left unturned.
That's fair enough. And Niavara sort of shakes her head as she glances away from the townspeople. She's like, I am okay with whatever. I personally, yes, do not particularly enjoy being in the Feywild for a multitude of reasons. However, I also understand that Max would very much probably prefer to try and find a ship. And irregardless of the fact that that ship that we saw in the mountains probably is destroyed, we do know that there are multiple coming from somewhere. So if we
Correct.
can find out where the ship crashed from, we might be able to track down where the entrance to the wherever they're coming from is.
Or your crew can salvage from them and create their own ship.
Because we've seen multiple ships coming in and crashing, is what I'm actually remembering.
Oh, yeah, maybe we run into my crew.
And
And
we've come so
Niavara
far.
makes a little face at little subtle face that she's like, maybe. She's doubtful that they're alive.
Yeah, that is. We did share a dream about them, which is interesting in itself. But maybe they're aware Max and his crew are sailing where they sail. Maybe
Yeah.
they're not dead.
I am curious how you ended up here from the astral plane, though, Max.
Good question.
How'd you get here? From wherever you came from.
We walk through a tree.
That's strange.
Well, it was
That
being
was a
guarded
bit
by a
odd.
nymph.
But I don't know. We're all from different places, I guess. How did we? And I'm going to be real philosophical again, and I'm going to look at Cha when I do it and be like, "How does anybody get anywhere?"
Moving forward.
We should discuss this in detail. Amongst other things, Raul.
Oh, yeah. What do you want to talk about?
That'll
Well,
be for next time. I need to
Yeah.
go to sleep.
So fair, actually.
so
Kozik is like, we've come so far. We were seeking the downed ship. I think we should continue on that mission for a while.
all
We've
right.
been
Sure, I'm
thinking
down
about
for
that
that.
for a while now.
So we head to that city that we saw, we were on the edge of before we met Sid and came here. We go there.
Which is Zareth.
Zareth.
That might be a good first step.
All right. So we will pick up there, but before we all disperse, upon the turning in of the quest, because that's kind of been the running joke, that's when you level. Your
Congratulations,
milestones are now when the quest gets turned in.
Fuck, we're gonna be like
It's gonna take
Level-
7 years.
level 5 forever.
Well, we've got 3 or 4 out there, so we can advance really fast. We just do it.
There
You
you
just get
go.
3
We
levels
know,
in one
we know that we
session, just
get.
turning them all in. Fuck yeah, dude. That's the way to do it.
There you go.
Well,
Classic
normally, like, a
grinding.
milestone would be, like, as soon as you beat the boss, or as soon as you, like, fell him. For me, at this point, because of, how things have developed, it's like, once you do the milestone of beating the boss, or whatever the milestone might be, and turning in the quest. The second part of it is the and.
You get loot
After the
from the
full rest.
boss. You get your XP from actually fucking turning in the quest.
Nice.
Which
And I will say, since
we don't do.
since Mage Hand has kind of fallen short in every application as far as today's session, what I will leave you with is Zed continuing to try and compete in rock paper scissors against the Mage Hand, and you can imagine it's at this point it's probably like in the high hundreds to 0 as far as wins for the Mage Hand. Zed's never won.
He's getting frustrated at it.
He's just fucking It's any moment of spare time. He's just trying to get better at.
I imagine
rock,
Zed
paper, scissors against the
arguing
Mage
with the
Hand.
hand. Like he's playing and he's like, God damn it! As soon as it wins again.
Oh, he's convinced that this Mage Hand that he is personally conjuring is cheating somehow.
Absolutely. Good session.
We can level up.
Thanks for that.
Yep.
This drama.
Okay.
Ooh.
A little
I
bit of
mean, I get
drama,
my-
a little bit of comedy, a little bit of partying, a little bit of serious town folk interaction.
Pushing things out between each other,
Yeah,
figuring out who we are. That's funny.
I get my infusions.
But for those of you who have to go, thanks for playing.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Right on.
Hopefully,
Good
me
night.
and
See you next time.
All right, bye.
Awesome. Bye.
hopefully
See
me
ya.
massacring Dale wasn't too far.
Oh, I made it a
definitely
point to
too
make that as
far.
gruesome as possible,
Definitely
even though it
too
was the right
far.
thing to do.
A little glimpse of Raoul's impatience and evil nature bled through
Too
a
many
little bit.
psychological fires to put out in this party.
Like, Niavara is not actually in favor of killing people. This was the one situation where she's like, no, you die now.
He was
Yeah,
very sleepy and very grumpy and was like, I'm fucking sick of talking about it.
This whole session brought out the worst in everybody.
Oh my god, across the board.
Brought out
Max
the
almost
best.
murdered
Coach.
Shaw.
The
I guess
racism
I'll
from
follow up
Kozik.
from
What?
last session.
Yes.
I will
totally.
say, so the whole Kozik thing, as far as the mimics, we've been attacked by mimics before we ever even made it to that town. The fact that that town existed was, in my opinion, OOC, very weird, because we were in a building mimic that was trying to eat us already. So it's not the first encounter that we've had with mimics. Uh,
So Zed and Kozik are now prejudiced against mimics.
Oh, these guys
There
in
we
the
go.
village really
We
melted
are
my heart.
learning so much.
I'm just saying,
Yeah, that seems to have
Kozik is
maybe
the
changed Kozik's
the
mind.
the maybe the best outcome of all of this is to have Kozik kind of through some sort of not rehabilitation program, but something similar. Like Kozik is the one that carries the mimic around.
Exposure therapy.
Right, right. There you go.
Yeah. I'm gonna hug it for 8 hours a day.
Um,
I found an uncanny ally in Max.
whatever the fuck is going on. Like Max's anger at Chaw.
Oh, that was
Fuming,
beautiful, by
dude.
the way. That was a
That is her
beautiful
most
piece of.
sacredly guarded like knowledge, right?
Oh yeah.
And just
I took
completely
it.
like violated right now.
Oh yeah. Chad absolutely embodied the infernal training he was given that he's resisted his entire adult life as a means to an end.
I could see that also though being some foreshadowing to Shaw and uh Fletch, I guess, at this point to the rest of the party.
What's also cool
Um,
about it, like as a DM, I have no idea how you guys are gonna develop and interact with each other, but it's just amazing how many of the things that Tio Moonblade said is just actually coming true, and I don't even know if you guys are realizing how accurate it's
Oh
becoming.
yeah. That was
Actually,
a real punctuation mark. But what were you gonna say, Zed?
well, just the I could see since you know so much about uh Youth's character, um while that was going on, I was thinking in the back of my head, okay, so Cha's either gonna oust all of this information to the rest of the party, or he's gonna keep it secret out of respect. And that could lead to the two of them becoming very, very close. Obviously, not immediately, because it's like that immediate tension of this action just happened, but kind of
Oh,
similar to how
Chop pulled the
Kozik
complete
knows.
manipulation that Max pulled on that little dragon. Cha just did it to Max. So it is interesting to see what will develop from that.
Yeah. I also will say too, and I don't know, it wasn't my place in the RP, but the when the whole scene, what your take of the scene was, and Max was like looking at the ship burning and like smiling and happy with what he had done, as a reflection of the immediate action of like taking away this dragon's home and things like that. I almost viewed it as that was a rival sailing party company that he had fought before, and I'm not sure. There's been a couple people that have been out for
Sure.
episodes. I'm not sure if you were there for that episode, but apparently it had been kind of
Oh
alluded.
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
they had fought each
I
other
remember
several
that.
times, which is why it's weird that it's like here
And he recognized
frozen
this
and
shit.
has a tree growing out of it when I'm like, we've fought this son of a bitch so many times, and I would rather
That
burn it to the
tree was
ground than to
something.
salvage it.
The tree was something I really wanted to know about. I don't, and it'd be interesting to know if the tree even burned or what. But the tree
That's a,
was again the banana was at the feet of the tree or at the roots, right?
well, then
Like,
and the dragon hatched on the ship, and then Niavara made
yeah,
the connection of, I don't know if it was OOC or in character, but
dragon.
that
I think it was in character.
the dragon that was frozen
Yeah.
uh could have been that could have been its offspring. And so yeah, there was a lot there that we don't really know about. And the I will say that when Zed was on the ship with the dragon, he was trying to get that information, like what's your name, where'd you come from, who's your family, like all of that sort of things, and wasn't able to find out that information. So there might be some kind of locked away memories with the dragon, but
Hmm.
I don't know. What is all this?
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack there, for sure.
Oh,
But
worm.
yeah,
What's that?
Looks like Raoul accidentally dragged over his infusions.
No, I clicked it so I could expand it and read it. So it looks like each for the replicate
Oh.
magic item, you can't change what it is. When you learn the infusion, you only learn one of the items.
Yep.
All right, so bag of holding for sure is the one I want.
So that'll take up
And
one of
then-
your 4.
I got returning weapon, repeating shot, and homunculus.
So I'm gonna
In
have
case I
to
throw
make it.
something, I can make it come back to me. And
All right,
repeating
bye.
shot in case I run out of ammo.
Yeah.
Bye. But I don't. I still am unsure how a lot of the infusions work.
Yeah, and then we can work some of that stuff out. It's not too
I'm
crazy.
AFK in stream and grab a snack. I'll be back in a little bit.
Now on the repeating shot and returning weapon, so
Alright,
like
so-
it says magic weapon grants a +1 to
People are
attack
gonna
and
be
damage
leveling
rolls
up,
made with
so-
it, and it returns to the wielder's hand immediately after it is used to make a ranged attack. Must have the simple or martial weapon with a thrown prop. So I could, have a +1 javelin, +1 spear.
So we're gonna wrap up the stream there. So, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for hanging out and watching. I appreciate y'all being here. Bye. And yeah, we do this every Tuesday from about 7:15-ish Pacific. To about 10:30, but we went over a little bit because it's kind of wrapping up a good thing. I'll be back at it tomorrow. And yeah. Appreciate y'all watching. If it's on the YouTubes, then we'll see you again next time. So, until next time, adventurers. Till next time. Thanks for watching.